Put my shit back on this fucking porch. Yeah. I saw you when you got out the motherfucking car. You're trying to put my shit back on this motherfucking porch.
Sure.
You done lost your motherfucking mind. You don't come up on my shit and take my shit.
You got it.
You lucky.
You got it.
You lucky.
You got it.
Motherfucker. You see this motherfucker just tried to take the car?
I hate when guys text you, did you take the plan B? No. I forgot.
Yes. What's good, everybody? What is good? This is a special broadcast here on the Cast Rain channel. As you know, I go by the name Cast Rain, and we're going to talk about certain things. But let me find out. I'll bring my guest in now. This is going to be his show tonight. So I bring you back the return of the one and only Amiri Browner. What's good, Amiri?
What's up? Now, what's going on?
What's good? Yes.
I see you upgrading the intro and stuff like that. That's tight, man. That's good work right there.
Yeah, I mean, it's something I figure out on the StreamYard thing. I could probably do it yours, but we'll get to that eventually. There's some little new trick I came up with. But before we go into today's subject at hand, I want everybody to make sure you subscribe to Cast Rain channel. Make sure you hit the red button and the top notification bell for all uploads and streams here in the Cast Rain channel. Also, follow me on Twitter at CastRain7 and add me as a friend on Facebook, Eric Rain on Facebook. Those are links. And also got Discord that's on the About section. So no further ado, we're not gonna hold up everybody's time. As y'all know, y'all in the chat room, I see y'all. I'm probably gonna correct that in a second. But nonetheless, what's good, Amiri? What's good? What you been up to?
Nothing, man. Nothing much. Just working, trying to maintain. You know, like anybody else. Just keeping my nose to the grindstone. Work. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man.
It's kind of my lot in life. I got to work. I got to go to work.
Yeah. Oh yeah. People forgot that we have life outside of here, and we're doing things. You get me?
I took an uncharacteristic day off today, so I didn't go in last night, so I was home today. But I ain't really doing that, man. Just trying to get my mind right and my spirit right, and working and stuff like that. Kind of like paying attention to the tea leaves. We could very possibly be within a World War III within the next, I say, 24 months. So I think like that's around the corner. But true to form, we love distractions and we're not paying attention until it's too late.
Yeah, and that's one thing I don't like, when people not pay attention to the bigger picture that's out here. I think a lot of Americans today, they're not really I was testing, but yeah, a lot of Americans are not really prepared to what's here and what is potentially going to be coming. So one thing, like anything, we always got to prepare for the best and the worst, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But really, truly, I tell people just do the best you can. But other things besides going around, what's on your mind, really, Amiri? Because there's a lot of things that been setting to your spirit that you always want to talk about.
It's kind of been a lot going on. Like, I mean, you know, just the norm. Like I have been paying attention to, like, YouTube and stuff like that. And obviously on the show you have the Cam Newton fiasco in the title. And I think what's really rich about that situation is how candid he was in talking about his relationship and stuff like that. And then, of course, going on to levy his critique against, modern women and, the whole bad bitch thing, and but not knowing how to cook. And it's not to say that his argument doesn't have merit, or that isn't a valid critique. But again, we have to question why being a bad bitch is in such high demand. Like, this is an argument you hear from many women today, and that is that, quote unquote, hoes are winning. And
Yeah.
I mean, it's an interesting statement when they say that. And so we have to look at it. Is that really the case? And if that is the case, what it's indicating is that men are, while complaining about the epidemic of thoughtdom, they are still continuing to incentivize the thoughts and the thoughtdom and the whole bad bitch thing. And that's what I want to speak to, because this is what happens. It's just like, for whatever reason, men today, particularly brothers, they lack any type of self-awareness when it comes to talking about the climate of the social dynamics that exists within the world of dating, mating, relationships, marriage, and the whole thing that's going on with women. There's this lack of self-awareness, because even while Cam Newton critique has merit, he doesn't have the moral authority to level the critique, because you're someone, sir, who, frankly, you've created several single mothers, so you're a part of the problem. You're not a part of the solution. See, there's this thing where these dudes want to have their cake and eat it too, and it doesn't work like that. See, we have a culture now where men are just as wanton and loose and haughty and high-minded as the women that they complain about. See, like, even if you want to look at it from a religious perspective, the good book, the Bible, says that the portion of a wicked woman is given unto a wicked man. It also says in Isaiah that woe unto the wicked for how does it say that? Woe unto the wicked for their way, they shall reap the calamity of their ways. And then he says the children oppress them and their women rule over them. That sounds like the gynocracy to me. So let's talk about why. See what I'm saying? Like let's talk. And that's the problem that I have. If you pay attention to the arguments I make, it's never to try and cape for women or to debunk the level of merit of what they're saying. It's to talk about the why. Why is it like this, though? Why do you have all these women seeking to be bad bitches and not to necessarily be the domesticated homemaker type? Why? Because you have a group of men who have no interest in incentivizing that. As Cam Newton confessed. He confessed that that I think his first baby mother, he had how many kids he had, with a 2 or 3 or whatever the case is?
4. He has 4 kids. And you look at the thumbnail, personally, that's her. Surprisingly. Right. So she's not a bad looking woman. So yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so he didn't incentivize her to be the homemaker thing, that what he claimed he talking about. See what I'm saying? Because these niggas want their cake and eat it too. When she wanted to settle down and be the housewife and stuff like that, he didn't want to do it because he still was quote unquote going through his so-called player phase.
Mm-hmm.
So you set your heart where your treasure was at.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? So this is why you have the women moving and operating like this. It's supply and demand, but they never want to talk about that. They only want to complain and whine about the consequences of the social climate that they're creating as men. You see what I'm saying? And so long as you do that, your complaints can be as valid as they wanna be. It ain't gonna change nothing because the women have no incentive to change. It's the same thing I was telling sisters with their complaints about the type of men they was complaining about.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? So you just complaining for nothing. Like you're not gonna do anything about it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? You're not gonna do anything about it because this is just where the society is. So when these women be talking about how these hoes winning, they ain't lying. You know what I'm saying? They ain't lying because that's what you're putting your treasure on as men. That's what you're placing your value on. That's what you after. So you didn't open Pandora's box. Now you can't put a lid on it. See
But
what
can
I'm
you
saying?
can you really put a lid on at this point, Amiri?
That's what I'm thinking. Like, no, like you would the group of men now who are active now, they would have to be making changes within their social, ethical, and moral cognition for the future generations. It wouldn't be something that they would be able to reap the benefits of. See, because these things this is part of a process. We exist in a continuum. These women just didn't grow up to just grow up out of nowhere to be the way they are. They had to be. This is social de-evolution, social conditioning over a period of time
Mm-hmm.
to give you the climate that you have now. So to begin to change it and to begin to alleviate it, like you're not gonna reap the benefits of that. You know what I'm saying? Like we think like dudes think that they're entitled to a certain type of woman, a woman who's like they say fit, feminine, and submissive and cooperative. You're not entitled to that. If you were entitled to it, you would have it. You don't have it because you haven't put in any effort to create that from a social capital standpoint. As a group of men, you have not invested any energy into developing that human capital for yourselves as men. You've put it into the other basket where you wanted hoes. So this is what you have now, nigga.
Mm-hmm.
This is what you have now.
Mm-hmm.
So you're the fucking problem because you're the catalyst. You're the cause. See, causation is masculine. The effect is the feminine component. And this is what they run from, because really at the end of the day they're not about no real manhood. Like they pretend in front like they are. They really are not. They're not really about masculinity. Like they pretend in their front they are. Hold on.
Okay. As Mary gets things situated, make sure y'all guys like the video. You could share this video as well. This is something that was on my mind for some time now, and I don't think I was going to do a upload for this. I feel talking about in more length would be more suitable for what has been stirring and boiling for the past week, and
Right.
so that's my take. Go ahead.
Yeah. So we haven't put any effort into developing that from a human capital standpoint. They can pretend and make these excuses about the liberal agenda and all this other shit. Man, look at yourself in the mirror. You know what I'm saying? Look at yourself in the mirror, man. Because that's what it starts with. And that's where it starts from. But see, they don't really want anything to change in terms of the women's behavior. For them, for many of these men, it's about mitigating the adverse effects of the climate they've created. So you don't. So you want to lessen the consequences for yourself. But in terms of keeping this as the norm for the woman's behavior, they love that. You know what I'm saying? That's why they call men like Russell Wilson a simp.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. Before you continue, I'd like to give a shout out to one of the great and unique moderators here on YouTube, Gail at Night. I'm not sure if you're familiar with this woman right here. She does a lot of work throughout the space. Yeah, very humble woman. Very humble. Thank you, Gail.
Yeah. No, I'm not familiar with her, but
Mhm.
yeah, but that's but like I don't even want to like keep. It's like beating a dead horse, over and over again. To just keep like relitigating this stuff because at the end of the day, I don't have them types of problems. You know what I mean? Like shit, I tell my wife what I want, she'll cook it for me. I don't have them problems, nigga. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man. And if you want, you get complete submission. And mind you, that's something you as a man putting in work, you earn it for a long time. And mind you, people don't know I'm married that you and your wife that you're like teenagers, what do you call it? Shit.
High school sweethearts.
Yes, there you go. Yes, correct.
Yeah, yeah, but they frown on that. See, they despise that.
Mm-hmm.
They'll try and make it seem like her and I have missed out on some grand experience of sexual liberation and this new age modernity of fornicating like 40 going west. Wow, they demoralized asses up on Facebook and YouTube all fucking day complaining about the consequences of that shit. That's really what they complaining about. When you see how like dudes complaining about child support, you're not on child support because of the gynocracy or social safety net or nothing. You on child support because you had premarital sex and got a woman pregnant, nigga. That's why you on child support. Don't blame the fucking system, man. Because husbands don't pay child support, playboy. So I don't have no idea what you're talking about. So don't try and make it like I'm the one who's missing out.
Hmm.
See, don't see it's we live in a time now, man, where everything is inverted. They call wicked good and they call good wicked. They call good wicked and wicked good. So that's what they try and do. Like that's the whole thing. Your whole phase and your player phase. Okay, well, don't forget about your being a single mama phase going through hell because of your whole phase. And don't forget about being your child support tearing your ass up phase because you was out there on your player phase. Accept what come with it. And that's you have people who can't accept that come with it. So I'm saying I don't have them problems, man. So don't try and make and don't try like you living in a time when you're living amongst a group a group of niggas who are as anti-family as they've ever fucking been. The only difference is when you're looking at the two is from what vantage point they're arguing from. Because a lot of times when they're making their arguments, they're using those things like family and stuff as a moral fucking device. But both of them are just as anti-family as the other. They not really up. They full of shit, man. Like you know what I'm saying? That's what I'm telling you. Like that's what we've been conditioned to put our value on, man. And it's a lot of bad and negative stuff that come with it. And just because it's a difference between being an expert on relationship failure and on breakups and being an expert on relationship maintenance and success, a fucking difference. Okay, you are not a better suited relationship advisor because you done been through 4 or 5 goddamn failed relationships or 2 or 3 or 4 divorces. You're a relationship. You're an expert on relationship breakup. You're not a expert on relationship maintenance and success. Let's make the fucking distinction. Let's make the distinction. You know what I'm saying? I know like why that mode. I know why that mode resonates. See, like people can talk about all this stuff about the self-improvement and self-awareness, but it ain't got nothing to do with that. At the end of the day, the quality of that relationship is going to derive from your moral center, where your morals at. What you like to in this day and age, a lot of people, they don't believe in building a life with another person. They want everybody wants something for nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody wants something for nothing. They don't have to put the hard work in. And they've been sold this dream and these tropes about relationships, like as if it's supposed to be easy and as if it's easy, but it's not. It's never been that way. It's never been that way, man. These are things that, like, relationship is something that just takes work. But when you coming from a fucked up disposition morally, then 9 times out of 10, your relationship gonna go sideways anyway. So they're experts on relationship breakup. They're not experts on relationships.
Mm-hmm.
They can tell you the ins and outs of getting over a breakup. They can tell you the ins and outs of the rebound stage. They can tell you the ins and outs of the no contact phase and all this other dumb shit. But what they can't tell you is how to have a lasting relationship with that person for the foreseeable future. They can't tell you that. They're not experts on that because they ain't fucking did it themselves.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
You know what I'm saying? It's a reason why that resonates. I already know why that resonates. You know what I'm saying? But don't blame the system and shit. A lot of it's you. A lot of it's the people themselves. A lot of it is the way how they get down. A lot of it is the way how they conflict resolve conflicts within a relationship. A lot of it is the way they view money within a relationship. It's a lot of different stuff. It's too easy just to blame it on the system. So like when you hear Cam Newton talking and stuff like that, he wanted his cake and he wanted to eat it too. And for the most part he has that. See, because he knows that with that young lady having 4 kids by him, the chances of her ever getting married and being in a meaningful relationship is slim to none. He knows that.
Wait. So I want you to repeat that. It went out one of my ears, one of my ear buds. Can you repeat that? I didn't get that.
He knows that by making her a single mother with 4 children, the chances of her ever getting married or having a meaningful relationship is slim to none. So he's basically doomed her to being a single mother. While he gets to go on and do his thing. But you'll sit up here and you'll talk about these women.
But
you get up and talk about these women, man, how they can't cook. But nigga, you shouldn't even be worried about that, really, because really you should have married your fucking first baby mama. You done got the woman pregnant 4 times. But see, you think anybody telling them that? That's what I'm talking about. Nobody be telling these niggas they wrong. Nobody be telling these niggas they fucking wrong. See, ain't nobody telling them you wrong, but you're wrong. Because you know good and well ain't nobody gonna be signing up to be no stepdad to your 4 kids, nigga. But ain't nobody telling them that.
One thing I do want to ask Amiri,
mm-hmm.
I get my mic close to my. Isn't it the norm where you find some of these dudes that are, I guess, impregnate some of these women that, depending on their situation, financial or whatever, that is another way that could just slide back into them draws? Because no man's gonna really, even the men that's talking about now, they don't want to deal with no,
Yeah, but see, they know that for the most part, the child has marked their territory, so they know they always have access to the woman. That's what I'm saying. The woman will always have that void in her life coming from a male partner in a meaningful way. They know that, man. So they always have access. So for a lot of dudes, this knocking them up and not wifing them is a better option because it allows him the best of both worlds.
While child support might be tearing their ass up, and I'm not sure if Cam's first
they have something working for that too. This is why like they try and shame the women into not putting them on child support. They're trying like child support is such a yoke of oppression for their sorry asses. When really what it is the child support means you got to be responsible. It means you have to. The child support is making you live up to that responsibility, to the fiscal responsibility. This is what I'm talking about. It's to continue everything that's going on, and just to mitigate the consequences. And the only reason why you got these incel dudes like, what's that nigga name? That short nigga? Ed Anderson, I'm mad because they feel like they ain't getting no coochie. It ain't because they better suited or have a better moral compass than these dudes, because all of them in a competition for the same thing. What those niggas mad about is because they losing the competition. So none of these arguments that you hear these people making is coming from any real morality, man. That's the only thing them niggas mad about. That's the only thing they mad about. Because like from what I've been saying from the beginning, these niggas are demoralized, man. They deserve what they get. Like when you look at like in 10, 20, 30, 40 years, when niggas getting the shit, like reaping the consequences of the decisions and the choices that they're making now socially, it's gonna be because they deserve it. It's gonna be because they deserve it. When you're politically irrelevant as a group, when you are locked within the underclass position, it's gonna be because your ass deserves it. No other reason. You know what I'm saying? That's something because Easter was just Sunday, and I've been kind of getting on niggas today about it on Facebook. Like, don't sit here and talk about the fucking Bible. The Bible ain't your problem. The Bible ain't these niggas' problem, man. Like the problem with black people ain't because they was Christians into Christianity. Nah. It's because at every turn they operate the way they operate now. Everything that they do is gonna be in the service to fucking self. You know what I'm saying? And I'm of the opinion that black people were better off when they were Christian. You know what I'm saying? It's like
you might have to go in detail that, because that's something I didn't know.
Because you had that old gospel singer Helen Baylor. She'll say, I had a praying grandmother. You know what I'm saying? Now what these kids gonna be singing is, I had a twerking grandmother. So like just stop pretending like where we find ourselves at now with where you are is out of some moral self-awareness steeped in revolution to reject the Bible and Christianity. No, you reject it because it's rules and regulations in that book, and you want to be able to do what you're doing. So you got niggas like Polite. He done made his bread and butter off of the Bible and Jesus and all this, but the same fucking nigga running around here molesting kids and stealing everything that ain't tied down. The same black ass goddamn nigga. And the only reason why that messaging resonated is because it's going back to what I'm talking about now. It's all steeping because from these niggas don't have no moral fucking code or no moral compass. I'm saying that's where it's coming from. They're gonna do whatever. They're gonna do whatever, man. So I'm saying, like, if you look at just the anti-child disposition that we have socially and culturally, when the Lord said, suffer the little children. So like the arguments you see me making when niggas be talking about, they really expect for me as a grown man to sympathize with them because they're as a grown man, because child support tearing their fucking ass up. But the child didn't ask to be here. So you don't get the sympathy. The child does. Fuck you. Pay your fucking child support. Supporting the child that you made isn't optional. I don't care if it's tearing your ass up. Go get another job. The child comes first. So that like trying to play the identity politic with me don't work. It's never worked.
Continue.
So we don't even believe in building up our human capital as a community. But they'll do all that talking about the fucking Bible. Like you rejecting the Bible out of some new awareness for morality. No, black people were better off when they were Christian. Like black people weren't subjugated because they was Christian. They were subjugated because they was outmanned and outgunned. The same problem we have now. The white man gave us the Bible. The white man gave you liquor and drugs, and you do that. You love getting high and fucking drunk. You love that. It's the reason why it's a liquor store on every corner in your neighborhood. And it's because it ain't just because the white man put it there. It's because y'all asses keep going there buying the shit and getting drunk. So you love drinking. So you ain't rejecting that because the white man gave it to you.
Don't forget, we also love to smoke that good stuff.
Yeah, like no sooner as the white man started legalizing marijuana, now everybody want to be a goddamn weed head and weed connoisseur.
Hold on. I gotta do this. Yeah.
So you want to reject the Bible, talking about the white man gave it to you, but he gave you everything else and you ain't rejecting that. He gave you your ignorance, but I don't see you reading the fucking book. You hate reading. He gave you Facebook. He gave you TikTok. He give you all social media, and you're on there acting a fucking fool every goddamn day.
And Clubhouse is the worst of them all. It's pure negative shit. If I tell you stories about Clubhouse.
Yeah, you're on there twerking. You're on there cutting the goddamn jig. You're on there stepping and fetching it. You're on there doing every goddamn thing under the sun but what you need to be doing. And that's having real conversations and real building instead of using it to hustle and sell merch and all this other dumb shit. So the white man gave you all that, but you ain't rejecting none of the other stuff he gave. You only want to reject that. But like I said, the only reason why they do that is because the Bible requires you to have some type of morals. And these niggas ain't got none. That's what I've been saying the whole time. These are the demoralized ass goddamn niggas. So they'll do what fucking ever, man. And what it is they put on this front, this facade, this whole thing about being conscious or woke. 100 years from now, ain't nothing gonna change because they full of shit, man. You woke, you conscious, because you done watched the fucking Movie Colors documentary, but can't see that Tariq hustling y'all. And like I like him, but I call a spade a spade. He hustling, man.
Yeah,
ain't nothing gonna change from a socio-political standpoint. Like the funny thing to me is like he has those Twitter spaces and people be coming up there asking him about FBA and getting reparations. Tariq has no real plan on how he's going to take FBA from a movement that he's using to sell merch and make money to how he's going to actually turn into a political force to where you can actually get the policy passed. See, it's a difference between there's a fundamental difference between Martin Luther King and Malcolm X. And see, it goes back to the same thing. This is why you see, like, they'll reject Martin Luther King. Now, Martin Luther King came from the Bible perspective, a Baptist preacher. Malcolm X came from Islam, which is nothing. What Elijah Muhammad was pumping really was pseudo dribble. That would have never flied in the Arab world. If he would have went over there talking about he was a prophet, them Arabs would have killed him.
Mm-hmm.
According to Orthodox Islam, that's blasphemy for him to be saying that. It's sacrilege. But I digress on that point. But see, it's a reason why they reject Martin Luther King and Malcolm X. But there was a fundamental difference between Martin Luther King and fucking Malcolm X. And no disrespect to Malcolm X. But at the end of the day, all Malcolm X did was get a goddamn newspaper established. He didn't get not one policy passed that affected your life. And of course, because you ain't never seen him in the White House or up there in Washington, D.C. talking to anybody who made the decision. So it's easy to pump good shit from your pulpit or from your own little perch in your community. But if you're not there in the halls of power where it matters, talking to the people who are in the public policy making positions, then it don't amount to a hill of goddamn beans, and that's the problem Tariq has. And no one questions him on what he on that. How are you going to take FBA from this movement where you running your mouth on YouTube and making money to actually getting a policy passed to where we can get reparations? Because Yvette Carnell and Tone Talks were actually doing the work politically. You're not doing anything politically. You just running your mouth
and hustling them DVDs, buck breaking, and all their stuff.
And it's not just him; it's the rest of them. It's the rest of them too. They're just running their fucking mouth.
Oh yeah.
But if you're not talking to Biden, if you're not talking to Kamala Harris, if you're not talking to the political operatives who are responsible for coming up with the public policy positions, how are you going to get it done? Nobody has ever asked this question. See what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But calling themselves woke and shit, like I'd be like, man, come on. That's why all I do is troll and clown these niggas because they stupid. Because we are stupid. As much information and knowledge and technology we have, we are stupid. Stupider than we've ever been. It's the reason why your dumb ass sitting up here talking about Martin Luther King integrated us. Martin Luther King, because Martin Luther King was talking to the people that actually create the policies. That's why. If niggas was gonna separate and do the group economic thing, they would have been undid it by now. So we all know they ain't about that life. So you got to get the public policies passed within the bureaucracies of the larger American society and apparatus to actually get something done. Because we already know they ain't gonna do it for themselves. If they would have been undid it by now. I mean, let's not forget Malcolm X himself said Elijah Muhammad ain't have no intention on doing none of that stuff he was talking about. That's not me saying that. Malcolm X said it. Okay? He said it. And this is nothing fucking new. And we don't think for us like niggas, and we don't think for ourselves. You know what I'm saying?
Right. You're right about that. Keep 100 in the building. What's up, Keep 100? Yeah.
Keep it 100 said Ice Cube did not speak to Biden. Biden and the Democrats told Ice Cube after the election.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
We're not going to speak to you till after the election. But the reason why they could do that is because they know we're going to vote. We're going to vote Democrat 90% of the time. Listen, and a lot of the stuff that Tariq talking about from the strategy standpoint, the shit ain't going to work. Not voting is not going to work. And the reason why it's not going to work is because black people are politically irrelevant. And the reason why they're politically irrelevant is because they are no longer the major minority in this country. They've been overtaken by the Hispanics and the Latinos. So the time frame and the time period we had with where we were the deciding vote and the deciding factor within national politics, that time is done. See, they know one thing. Out of the percentage of blacks who do vote, 90% of them are going to vote Democrat, and the rest of the black people don't matter because they're not going to vote. They know that.
Wait,
so this is where we are in the 21st century. You're soon becoming politically irrelevant.
Are you trying to convey that the people you are trying to save do not have the ability to think for themselves, and they are naturally sheep, or as it seems? That's what Smuggles.
I mean, let's look at the body of evidence. Let's look at the body of evidence. This isn't anything new. This is the same thing niggas would do in church. The pastor could preach for an hour, and they'll be, oh yeah, Pastor sure preached. Pastor did a good service, a good message. You go back and you ask them people, what did he preach, and they couldn't even tell you.
Yeah, I've asked that question.
Because a lot of times what it is it's not coming from a standpoint of actually thinking. It's coming from emotion. Even now, like a lot of the stuff that they accept and they reject in terms of philosophy and ideology, it ain't coming from logic. It's coming from emotion. So, for example, if you talk about a woman submitting to a man, irrespective of the man's accomplishments or his socioeconomic status and stuff like that, brothers will go along with that. But not because they're thinking, not because it's logical, but because of how it makes them feel. That makes them feel like a man. They feel like the woman should do that anyway. When a person looking at it logically, objectively, would know that nobody in their right mind would take that deal. Doesn't have anything to do with gender. It doesn't have anything to do with gender. Nobody would submit themselves or prostrate themselves to someone who's inferior to them. So if you're in an inferior position to the woman, socioeconomically, educationally, academically, by all the important benchmarks and metrics of success in the American society, what makes you think she's supposed to submit to you? But you're not thinking, you're going by emotion, but swear up and down they logical. When the logical thing would be, okay, let me sow into these areas of my life so I won't be in that position of a man who's in an inferior position to his woman. So let me actually build myself up so I won't be in that position. That's the logical thing. That's the logical thing. But they'll reject that because they're not coming from a place of logic. They're coming purely from a place of emotion.
Let me see what Smuggle said. Does most sheep been or he or she been active? Let's see. If the people you are talking about are naturally sheep, should you feel sorry for them, or are they doing what nature, I think, dictates for them to do? What is the purpose of I guess, gazling when they come gazelle to come to the lion? Okay.
Well, I mean, I would if it wasn't for their ignorance that's mingled with arrogance. See, because they think I'm the arrogant one. They think I'm the one who always has this need to be right. When I don't have this need to be right. I am right. What I'm saying is right. I'm saying the arguments I'm presenting are right. Oh yeah, you come up. The arguments I'm saying are right and correct and on point. What they have a problem with is what I'm saying and the arguments I'm presenting, how it's making them feel. It's making them feel. That's why I feel a certain type of way. It's not logic. So I could feel sorry for them if it wasn't for their ignorance mingled with arrogance. See, because like I said, in the real world, there's no place you can go in the real world and complain all fucking day about shit you ain't prepared to do nothing about. See, complaining about a problem is not solving a problem. Complaining about a problem is not solving a problem. I said that on Facebook tonight, Chaos. No amount of mammon from Shahrazad Ali is going to change the fundamental dynamics of power. And when you are a male group who are in the subordinate position within the society, you lose control over your women and your children. That's just the way it goes. Mm-hmm. So I'm not the one online complaining all day because I understand what it is. There's only one real solution to the problem. And that is to become the dominant male group within the society. So we know they're not about that. So then stop complaining. If you've made peace with you're talking about all this red pill stuff, MGTOW and going on. So if you've made peace with the fact that you're the subordinate group, then just go do what you're doing and stop complaining. That's literally all you got to do. It don't matter if black women's net worth is below American black men, because both of y'all net worths is below white men and white women, Asian men and Asian women, Hispanic men and Hispanic women. Well, maybe not Hispanic, depends on how you define it.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying? Like, there is no competition between black men and black women. The only reason why there's this competition between black men and black women is because many brothers want the same type of relationship dynamic with black women that other groups of men enjoy with their women. But again, you ain't gonna be able to have it like that because your ass subordinated. That's it. No amount of golden and coaxing, and it doesn't work like that. Power is a fundamental universal constant. It does not change. It does not change to suit your male ego. It does not change to suit your worldview. It does not change. It's the reason why niggas sitting up here acting like it's the gynocracy is the reason why I'm on child support. But it ain't cause you chose to get a woman pregnant who you ain't want to be with. It ain't cause of that. It ain't cause of that. Like, they do the most talking about divorce, but yeah, y'all get married the least. Only 29% of niggas get married, or black people get married. So you get messed with the majority of dudes who on child support. They ain't on child support because the woman divorced them and then put them on child support. The niggas on child support because they having babies out of wedlock. That's a very simple thing. And it's just like I said, it's logic. The law averages. The more sex you have outside of marriage, the more kids you're gonna have outside of marriage. That's just common goddamn sense.
And this applies to any economic situation.
Women got so many types of contraceptives. Then why? Okay, if that's the case, why your ass paying child support then? That sound good, but you the one paying child support and on Facebook all day complaining about the child support, tearing your ass up. Because in the moment you wasn't going by what was logical, you was going by what felt good to you. See what I'm saying? So it's the same goddamn problem the whole way around. It's the same. No, I ain't lying. It's the same problem the whole way around. It's all about what's ever in service to these niggas' pleasure.
Let me see
what make them feel good.
Let me see what question Smoke asks. If you had the power to change it, what other steps would you do to put the sheep in the position of the lion? I think that's a good question.
Well, first of all, you would have to equate the financial situation in the country, where you're looking at the wealth distribution. How much of wealth do black people own and control? So that would be the first thing. Anything you do, would have to start with that. I think some need of moral, ethical, and social reform is definitely needed with these niggas. And when I say these niggas, I ain't talking about just the dudes. I'm talking about the women too. I would enact some type of strict, forced, moral, religious code, something akin to Sharia law. It would be coming from the biblical side of it, not necessarily Islamic. I would be hard as nails on these goddamn men. You know what I'm saying? See, that's like when you heard one particular content creator talking about Sharia law because they thinking like it's the women, but they hard on the fucking men too. You know what I'm saying? See, ain't just the women. They gonna be on hard. They hard on the men too. You know what I'm saying? They hard on the men too with that. They ain't just hard on the women. See, a lot of like all this stuff where I would run all y'all. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm telling you. I would run all y'all. You know what I'm saying? That's what I mean. See, because I'm really conservative.
Yeah,
I'm not the liberal one. What it is many of these dudes are liberal. They only got a problem with the women because the women are more liberal than them. They're not conservative, man. You know what I'm saying? So I would I would enact a strict moral, religious, and ethical code that you had to go by that was harsh consequences. You know what I'm saying? You're doing the stuff a lot of these content creators doing. You're sleeping with little kids and all this. Your ass is through dealing. All right, you just understand that.
Well, wait, Amiri, this is what will happen if anytime a man was really found. This what's gonna happen.
Yeah, you're gonna be through dealing. Any type of coonery, buffoonery, treachery, treason, you're gonna be through dealing. You know what I'm saying? Just understand that. So yeah, it would be strict. See, patriarchy is actually the policing of men. It doesn't really have anything to do with women. Patriarchy is how you organize and stratify men. So it's always harder on men. A lot of these dudes aren't patriarchal, they're chauvinists. That's it. They're chauvinists and jingoists. They think that makes them patriarchal, but it doesn't. Because patriarchy is actually a mate guard strategy. So it's in service to women and children. That's what patriarchy is. Because it's a mating strategy. Patriarchy and fatherhood are synonymous. They'll ignore all that. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
You're not patriarchal. You're not patriarchal. No, I didn't say that. What I'm saying is men are weak when they want to use running their women as a proxy for actually running something else. See what I'm saying? So that's a mischaracterization of the argument, and that's the whole point I'm making. That's why they want to make it like they're patriarchal because they're chauvinistic. But you ain't trying to run nothing else. You want to run the woman, we got to get this woman in order, but they ain't trying to get nothing else in order. You ain't never noticed that, Chaos? And what I'm saying is, no, you get else in order, and then the woman gonna have to fall in order. They don't want to hear that though, because they ain't really about what they talking about. It's like what I'm saying. They just as liberal and wanton. The problem they have is that the women are more liberal and wanton than them. This is why much of the behavior you see these women engaging in, they view these behaviors as it being masculine. These women mess because the women behaving like them. So you want to run the woman, but you don't want to run nothing else. That's what I got a problem with. You want to be dominant over the woman, but you don't want to be dominant over nothing else. We make more than the black woman, but you don't make more than the white woman, though. So even in their gender war bullshit is very much racialized. Because if you really were a masculinist, you would be complaining about the fact you make less than white women. But you fine with that. You fine with the fact that white women make more than you.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, the only thing you're concerned about is you making more than black women, but you make less than white women. Even Kevin Samuels, he can get this work. That's what I'm saying, because a lot of times these niggas be speaking half truths, talking about how the women came into the workforce. That wasn't black women. Black women did not take jobs from black men. That's a fucking lie. The white woman took jobs from black men.
Well, yeah, because they make them a double minority.
Yeah, but you think black women was in control of them making white women double minority? So you're using a black woman as a proxy because what it is, you're too chicken shit and cowardly to actually confront who was the real fucking culprit. Yeah, they use the black woman as a mascot, but that ain't got shit to do with it. Because the reason why you're in the position that you're in is because this other male group is controlling the shit. But they'll totally ignore that. Black women and black men in the 1960s comprised the majority of the labor fucking force. And with the prospect of black men and black women getting equal rights and getting civil rights, in order as a check against that, white men added women as a minority class to the legislation to as a check against that. That's what pushed black men out of the labor market. It wasn't black women. So black women didn't take those jobs. But you'll never hear them talking about how they make less than white women. You'll never, but they'll claim up, but they'll swear up and down they masculineness and it's a gender thing, but it's not. It's really what it is it's a race thing. Because like I told you, many of them are comfortable with the fact of them being subordinated. You know what I'm saying? They're comfortable with the fact of being a subordinate male group. And it's what I'm talking about. And being as such, being a subordinated male group, they don't want the consequences that come with being a subordinated male group, like you not having control over your women and your children. So they peddle this mythology about if the women just submit and everything, we would have families. And then stop. Stop it. Total bullshit. Because what it really is they so goddamn demoralized in this day and time. They have every amenity to the leisure in Western society. They don't even have no goddamn impetus to fight nothing. So just stop it. And that's a tactic that they would do on the plantation. They pacify the men. You give them food over there. You give them a shelter. You give them food, and you give them access to sex. And they don't have no impetus to revolt, man. Buck breaking was not just a homosexual thing. They would buck break the men through heterosexual sex too with the women, and that's what you have. That's what you have now today. Niggas have spent 40 years talking about sex, but won't spend 10 minutes on actually talking about something that's gonna go on them some type of collective fucking power. And then when the consequences rear their ugly head of not having power, then they'll sit there and complain. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So you'll pay for what you want and beg for what you fucking need. You'll pay attention to what you want, but you'll beg for what you need. Oh, that's you shall build it and it shall come argument. Weak motherfucking asses. I told you weak.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. This is a question.
Because even if that is what it is, right? Even if that was what we're saying, the building and you some argument. If you not like if you weren't about that, why are you sitting here? You the one sitting here complaining. You the one sitting here complaining all goddamn day, all over the place, breaking out old tapes of Shahrazad Ali as if that's Mammy ain't gonna change the power dynamic, nigga. You know what I'm saying? That ain't gonna change. That ain't gonna change it. These women not finna. If that was gonna happen, it would have been happened a long fucking time ago. So that ain't the solution. But they don't want to hear that and they have a problem with what I'm saying. Because what I'm saying is work. It means work, sacrifice. Yeah, you could die in the process of actually trying to get power.
All right. Let me see what Snuggles will show 2 questions, or he or she, because I'm not sure if this is So you are saying the people that became mascots did not understand that they were being weaponized against self and kind?
I'm saying it's irrelevant whether they knew or not. Okay. See what I'm saying? It was irrelevant. That's the undue consequence of being subordinated. There is no real choice. So, for example, with the argument niggas make about welfare and putting the men out the home and stuff like that. Let's say, what was the choice? Was the choice to keep the black man in the home and not have food for yourself and for your children, right? And then the other option is to put this man out so you can have Section 8 and so you can have food. Look at the fucking choice. So you see the self-service the niggas coming from, because the choice is no real choice at all. And the reason why the choices, no real choices, are because you're not in the power position. It's just like the Merovingian said in the Matrix. Choice is an illusion between those with power and those without it. So it don't matter if the
Oh,
goddamn women knew if they was a mascot or not. The outcome was gonna be the same. You run nothing in the society. They don't need your like. You think the white man needed any level of permission or cooperation from anybody black to put his woman in the workplace? Is that what you really think? When the majority of black people, either black men or black women, are employed in the fucking public sector, the majority of black people work government jobs. Most of the jobs that white women have are in the private sector. You know why? Because it's their husbands, it's their sons, it's their uncles, it's their nephews, it's their fathers who run private industry in this goddamn country. So it's a bitch-made argument these niggas making.
Wait, I want you to repeat that one more time. I want this to stick in my cranium. It's going out, in and out. I got hair skin. One more time for the people in the back.
About which one?
About, the private sector and the sector.
Yeah, most black people are employed in the most of the jobs that white women have are in the public sector. I mean, are in the private sector. Most of the jobs that black women, especially black women and black men have, are in the public sector. See what I'm saying? So it's because that's government. But the private industries, the private sectors, most of white women have most of those jobs. And the reason why is because it's their husbands, fathers, sons, brothers, nephews who run private industry in this country. So that argument being presented is bitch made. Because what it really is you don't want to talk about the power dynamic. You only want to talk about the consequences of the power dynamic, as if that's going to change the fundamental nature of power. It ain't no kufu babble. Go look it up. Because again, I'm not the one sitting here complaining, talking about I've been took out the home. I'm not the one sitting here making that goddamn argument.
All right. Let me see what Snuggles wrote. Another question. Seeing that you are saying the European man is the one pulling the strings, what are the first steps to fighting against what they are doing?
Acknowledging that's what they're doing. And that's and which is where we are now. See, they don't want to acknowledge that. They want to see. Let's talk about it. The reason why you see, like, if you notice, there's been this uptick in the same type of rhetoric Kevin Samuels has been using.
Yeah.
And the reason why is because they're playing follow the leader. Like because that's what's relevant and that's what resonates. So now people are going after market share of the audience. They're going after market share of the audience, even though nothing about what they're saying is going to change the fundamental dynamics or nature of the power dynamics. The power dynamics are going to be the same because you're not dealing with the root cause. So if you can, the louder and more boisterous you can be in your anti-black woman rhetoric and views, the more relevance you can get on social media, even though it's not changing anything. So what this does is this allows people to appear informed and to appear profound and to appear engaged, even though they're not doing anything about it, even though it's not doing anything. See, it's easy. Hold on.
Okay. Oh, I see in the building, Jay Shine. What's good, Jay Shine? If you want to jump up, you know where it is. The link's in the chat room. Let me see what we wrote.
It's easy to yeah, Jay Shine. It's easy to talk about the symptoms of the problem than to actually deal with the problem. I'm not saying that these things aren't problems. I'm just saying, why are these the problems? How do you change the problem? So the first step is acknowledgement. So I'm saying the first thing is acknowledgement. If you notice, you never hear me talk about black women in submission.
Yeah.
And the reason
Ever
why
since
is
I
'cause
met you.
yeah, the reason why is because I ain't in a relationship with black women. So I'm saying I'm not in a relationship with black women as a general group. Now, if you ask me, do I think that statement is true generally, I would be like, yeah. But you don't see me complaining about it because it's not a problem for me. Because I'm not like out here actively dating, or you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's not my problem. So if you're going to sit up here and you're going to make observations like that, then you can't talk about it within a group dynamic context and then not want to extrapolate it all the way out of why that is, of where it's emanating from, and then where it's going to lead you right back to is the fact that you are in a powerless position as a man. We can argue the merits of whether they should be doing it or whether they shouldn't. It don't matter. What I think and how I feel about it is irrelevant. Power isn't partial to my fucking feelings as a man. And that's what I want these goddamn niggas to understand. Power is impartial to how you feel about it. It functions the way it functions, and it operates the way it operates. And so when you find yourself in a position that we found ourselves in, this is what's going to happen. And what I'm saying is, okay, if you want to do what you're doing about like going your own way and stuff, okay, then stop complaining. Like, go your way and do what you're doing then. But just because what you're saying resonates on social media, don't mean I gotta sit there and go along with the shit. See, because I'm not the type to get along and go along because I'm trying to find relevance. It's the reason why you see the same types of conversations going on social media and Facebook and stuff like that. Really, it's because a lot of people talking aren't intelligent enough to talk about anything else. So even if we wanted to inform our particular race of people and group of people, many of the people don't even have the information or knowledge base to do so anyway. We get the leadership we deserve, man. And that's why I said in 30, 40 years, when we find ourselves in the position that we find ourselves in, it's going to be because we deserve it. The same way brothers are complaining about these women now, and it's really what they deserve. Like that Tank song, Baby, I deserve, because for the last 50 years, you have not been putting in any effort to build up the human capital of your women. So these brothers today would be able to find the types of women they claim they want. We didn't do that. We decided to do something else. We took it in another direction. Come on. See what I'm saying? What did you think was going to happen with the 2 Live crew, as nasty as she want to be shit? What you thought was going to happen? You know what I'm saying? You thought you was going to have women that know how to cook and know how to cook more than they know how to twerk, when you've been putting your whole energy and effort into developing twerk culture and whores and thoughts, nigga. What you thought was going to happen? What you thought was going to happen?
Well, I think what's going to happen is, we're going to promote and grow a more of a loose society, exploiting the chicks, turn that backside wave. What do you call it? Swinging like a circle.
Ass in the circle. Yeah, like what everything that's being pumped through the music. Now you got a problem with Cardi B and
Make the sound.
Who are they patterning themselves after? Who laid the framework and the groundwork? Who willingly stepped it? See, this one, the point in time for you to take the moral positions as leaders of the community and as leaders of your people and as men, and to be masculine and to provide the leadership you claim you want to provide, was then. Not no fucking 40 years after the goddamn fact. So you can't unring a bell. You can't unring a bell. And then when it was sisters like Dolores Tucker talking about the degradation that they was doing, the same goddamn group of men, anytime a black man, is the same fucking excuses. When are you not going to take the fucking bait? Yeah, and I know the white executives. I know they pushed gangster rap to a certain. But what I want to know is when are you not going to take the fucking bait?
Mm-hmm.
When are you not going to fall for it? Because that's what they're doing now with this whole. Like I'm telling you, do not be surprised if a lot of this stuff coming from the gender war and all this other stuff and this red pill stuff. Do not be surprised if it's some type of fucking CIA psyop that's being peddled. Do not be surprised if that information comes out 30 years from now. Because like I told you, many of these brothers, they see themselves as the good guy type, the good guy archetype. They see themselves as the educated lame or whatever. And we'll talk about Pookie and Ray Ray with blood and Crip. But these niggas blood and Crip. Because they'll readily engage in intra-group, intra-cultural xenophobia, because the moment a brother doesn't share their particular viewpoint, which they call as red pill, they'll call them blue pill. So you see how they otherize and create that false division? But talking about Pookie and Ray Ray with the blood and Crip, yo stupid ass blood and Crip. So you ain't no fucking better than Pookie and fucking Ray Ray. You blood and Crip.
Pookie!
Talking about Pookie and Ray Ray as if you better. You ain't no goddamn better. It's the same thing. And you can't tell me it's not the same thing, because the color distinction that you're using, the blue and the red dichotomy, the blood and Crip dichotomy, it ain't coming from you, it's coming from them. The Republicans are red, the Democrats are fucking blue.
Ain't that a coincidence?
But claim you want to lead something, but always falling for the fucking bait. That's what I be talking about. Then 40 years from now, they'll be claiming that it was the women. Of course, the arguments have merit. But what I want to know is who stands to benefit from the gender war? Who stands to benefit? Exactly.
And that's really a loser.
Yeah, that's what you got to ask yourself. Who benefits from us engaging in this activity? But we always fall for it. And then any voices that dissent and that try and have a unifying they'll otherize those dissenters. You see what I'm saying? But 30, 40 years from now, it's going to be whatever they get, it's going to be what they deserve. The same way what they get now, they deserve. They deserve these women. Men get the women they deserve.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah, man.
There's no emotion with me, man. It's very logical.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. We gotta bring back the logic to a lot of things we do nowadays.
It's a very logical progression in deductive reasoning to arrive at the conclusions I'm arriving at. You know what I'm saying?
But one thing I do want to say, Amiri, anybody want to come up? The links in the chat room. To rewind it back, even to the focus and other events, that I think there's gonna be many more celebrities that's already here on YouTube that's gonna try to impose their will because they already got the clout and the notoriety to possibly push a lot of the other countries and how strong their presence is really out quickly, because they are listening to a lot of the spaces. They are taking the talking points and they're implying and they're getting more attraction and attention than the typical creator for last year or so, unfortunately. And what Cam Newton did was nothing to do that he was saying that really is typical what majority of the men said on YouTube or outside of YouTube personally. So to sit there that he got a lot of attention from this, and he got attention from really some of these women that either can get the man they want or they don't get the man they say they deserve. And I think one Caucasoid woman was making a reaction of what he said. And I'm thinking, say, if Cam Newton was not an athlete and tall and fit all the above, would people give him this much attention, especially the women on the opposite side of what he said? Be honest, Amiri.
No, they wouldn't. I guess that's another problem we have is just celebrity worship. What we want to live vicariously through, through these celebrities. That's something else that's pushed by the dominant society and the dominant culture. Like especially like within this wake of, the whole Will Smith fiasco and stuff. But like one thing I talked about with the curse of celebrity is like generally people love tragedy. Like it's the reason why people will watch, the NASCAR races. They're not watching these cars go around in a circle because they want to see who win. They're watching these cars go around in a circle at high speeds because they want to see the crash. You know what I'm saying?
I didn't think of that.
Yeah, celebrity is about building people up so we can tear them down later. We build these people up to such a high profile to where we find their life interesting, so that when they fuck up in front of us, we then can dissect and parse out their entire life. When many of us have things going on in our own personal lives that are worse than any situation a Will Smith could have going on, but nobody cares. You know what I'm saying? Nobody cares because we're not a celebrity. See, like this shit is like just like if you watch any like how ancient Rome fell, you know what it is with this shit. You know what I'm saying? It's bread and circuses. We'll sit here and we'll talk about irrelevant shit, but not even realizing that we're on you have a imminent World War III on the horizon, and what that could potentially portend for America and for Black people within that America. You see what I'm saying? So we'll neglect our needs and indulge on our wants. And I knew that some type of, like, if you think about it, for the past since 2020, for over a year, the country was on we was on a martial law lockdown.
Yeah.
Think about that.
Yeah, they would.
What happens in those types of scenarios? We always get it worse than anybody else. And I think like what other generations had going for them, even being in the same position that we're in, which is being a subordinated, at least those men were at least socially aware, self-aware of their Blackness and what it meant within the American context, and willing to fight and die for that. We don't have that now. We don't have that. They've gotten us so high and so drunk off of the wine of their modernity and their luxury that we have few men who are willing to stand up and die for principle in principled positions. So I'm saying, again, I would find the arguments brothers make more palatable if I felt like the arguments were coming from principled positions, when I know it's merely coming from positions of seeking convenience and pleasure. And I'm making any principled position. So we don't have men right now who are principled. So that means it's even more precarious if we find ourselves in a situation where you're looking at a social upheaval because of some nuclear attack or something. You know what I'm saying? Like, this shit is finna change, man. This stuff is finna change. Like we trust in this shit. We trust in the modernity. We trust in. I've been talking about that since I've been on YouTube, Facebook, or whatever. Being too trusting of a lot of this stuff.
I'm not questioning it either.
Yeah, that's illusory. Like I talked about that. Like, even how we view reproduction and procreation. Like, I have 6 children, and I know, according to the standard of living that American society is set up, the thing is like, that's, oh man, like, I've done something wrong by having that many kids. And so I've never been really on that type of time and thinking when it comes to the American, American modernity, American society, the quote unquote Western ideal of civilized living in terms of that. I believe there's a difference between quote unquote an unplanned pregnancy and an unwanted pregnancy. Just because a pregnancy was unplanned doesn't mean it was unwanted, nigga. You know what I'm saying? That doesn't mean, but we'll act like it does. See, so they put so much socioeconomic constraint on us where we view our own progeny as a burden. We view our own progeny as a cursed thing. Like, let's talk about the reason why so many black women aren't getting along. A lot of times it has to do with the child, because the child just came from happenstance sex. It was just having a sexual relationship, having a sexual liaison, just doing a thing, and then the woman ended up getting pregnant. Many brothers try and force the sister to abort it because of the financial constraints, and she doesn't. She keeps it, and so now when she goes to the city or the county to get any type of provision, they make this nigga pay child support. A lot of their vitriol is coming from that too.
And child support now, last time I checked, help Eric Williams says like now that says supposed to be the average now is like roughly almost $300. That's my check. So
A month?
Yeah, it's like $297 or $276. But it's not really as big as they say it is. From what I'm hearing. I might be wrong. It might vary from different states, but let's be honest. When you put on it, depending on what assistance she needs, she's gonna have to put you on it. And
yeah, like I don't know if it's for food stamps, but I know like if she got to get medical care, WIC, daycare,
yeah. For the premier care, yeah.
Yeah, they're gonna make you pay. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna put you on child support. So, but what I'm saying is the reason why we think that way is because we bought into the system. So we view our own progeny as a curse. You see what I'm saying? I've never bought into that. Meanwhile, in the white community, they doing everything they can to reproduce.
They even got banks and things.
Yeah, and here we are demonizing and coming down on the young ladies for for being fertile. Now of course that's it all comes with discretion, because like some of these sisters they be 21 with 3-4 fucking kids. You know what I'm saying? Just because you having sex with a nigga doesn't mean you need to have a baby bond. You see what I'm saying? So I guess we fucked up all the way around. We ain't ready for prime time. And look, I lived through a cataclysm. I lived through Hurricane Katrina. It's the reason why I wasn't out there on the GNO getting sniped and shit. So niggas can say what they want, you know what I'm saying? But it's a reason why I don't be going through a lot of shit, going through a lot of stuff a lot of other dudes be going through. See what I'm saying? It's a reason why. It's the reason why I was in a position to where I could move my family out of harm's way. I had a vehicle, I had money. You know what I'm saying? I was only what?
You 24 or 25 at the time?
Yeah, 24, 25. And at that time.
Wait. No, actually, yeah, you were 24 because that was in 2005. Yes.
Yeah, that was in 2005. So, and at that time I had 4 kids. And was able to, you know what I'm saying?
But yeah, pack up and go.
You know I remember like the way I view things is very succinct, very consistent, even though that niggas are trying to pretend like it's not. It's very consistent because I remember during that time period, niggas was applauding the fact that New Orleans was the murder capital. Then when it's a cataclysm, you need the fucking government to come get you out of there. All that goddamn killing and trapping, and ain't got $500 to get the fuck out of Dodge. You know what I'm saying? That's what we do. That's how we think. That's how we operate. You know what I'm saying? Then you got these silly ass goddamn women. They'll sit up here and make it like these thug niggas is are the height and definition of masculinity. You know what I'm saying? What they really don't tell you, a lot of that hustling them drugs, like you ain't really making no money dealing dope unless you moving real weight, man, especially now. You know what I'm saying? A lot of dudes, man, they be out there doing that shit and they be barely eking out a real existence too, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Every drug dealer ain't rolling in dope. You know what I'm saying? But I just remember that.
There it is to pay their rent,
They
man.
was getting sniped on the GNO bridge and everything, but doing all that goddamn, but killing each other up though. We the murder capital. Then when it's time to get out of Dodge, you need the fucking government to come get you. The same goddamn niggas.
Mm-hmm.
That's how we are, man. That shit ain't no goddamn accomplishment. But then if we start talking about 13% of the population committing 50% of the homicides, we don't want to have a conversation about that as if we don't have a problem with violence in our communities. Violent ass goddamn niggas. They real violent against another black man. But that white man that cop to shoot their mom in the head 40 times and the average nigga ain't gonna do nothing. The average nigga. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
But be on a panel and have a dissenting opinion. No, we can meet up. Nah, I done had niggas do this stupid ass nigga. That's why I don't be on these panels, because I ain't got time for niggas, man. Because if you come by my house, I'm gonna shoot the fuck out you. You know what I'm saying? Before you can even knock on the door, before you can even get it out your mouth, I'm gonna shoot the piss out you. You come around here with that dumb shit. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But the same dude to get gaffled up by the police or to be on TV crying. Tell me I'm lying.
You're not lying.
You know what I'm saying? Violent as hell when it comes to each other. Most of those murders is black men killing other fucking black men. Mm-hmm. But you'll never hear these so-called pro-blacks talk about that type of shit. I don't take those pro-black serious. I don't identify as pro-black. They full of shit. You know what I'm saying? They full of shit, man. All that shit is about is selling merch. You know what I'm saying? That's all it's about.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. One thing I do want to add on is this, that I remember a wonderful lady Consequence said it best, that most men don't understand that in this society we're in that still runs and operates through groups and etc., that you are truly capped in certain positions or jobs or anything like that, because they look at who are you fending to, who you providing to, which is a marriage. And it really sinks to me that when I think about and really deeply think about it, that majority of people in America still work, and even if they work for themselves, still they gotta work amongst other groups and have no saying. Will they trust you as a man with their girl? No, you're gonna F them because you have nothing to lose. You're not responsible for anybody.
Right.
So that's why when I understand why they said about the marriage thing, why it's not a good deal. I get it. I understand you. But if you're gonna be operating in this society and you want to project yourself high, you're going to have to really, at one point, going to figure out if you're going to settle or not.
But marriage is a very good deal for niggas, man. Most marriage has more of a upward social mobility for black men than any other male group. Marriage is more necessary for black men socioeconomically than it is for black women. That's what the data says. See what I'm saying? Like these millennials and Generation Z and stuff, a lot of these motherfuckers gonna be broke as shit, man. You know what I'm saying? Like you see it now with the gas prices and inflation. You're looking at new normals coming around this motherfucker. This is the part niggas don't understand. You see the move that Putin made with the dollar, with the ruble. See what I'm saying? You see the move he made with that. So niggas just think the plantation gonna always be what it is. A lot of these niggas gonna have to be in a relationship with a woman in order to maintain. You know what I'm saying? Because the cost of living gonna be so goddamn high for their ass. The rent right now is sky high. You either gonna need a roommate, or you're gonna be living with your parents, or you're gonna have to be in a dual income household with a woman.
Mm.
These niggas be wanting to argue about shit like as if they're from that post World War II domestic ideal, as if this is 1950s, and it's not.
Mm-hmm.
So marriage has more of an upwardly upward mobility for black men than any other male group.
It makes me wonder when they made the move to change the climate of America back in the late 60s and then brought in no fault divorce in like 73, 74, that they already noticed, and that's why they tried twinkle with people and making them have to make not rational decisions but very unrational decisions, of how they should progress or move forward in this so-called Western world we call America. Because they know this by doing the data that is saying, you better off in time married. No one say get married now, but eventually you should be think about it.
Well,
If
we
you
already talked about the fact that there's a single tax within American society. Like, despite everything that they saying, that these niggas be talking about, the gynocracy and the the laws in this country are more geared towards married people than single. Okay, married people get more benefits than single people. So this is what I'm telling. That's an excuse, man. These niggas ain't no more about family and marriage than these women. Those are excuses. I.e., Cam Newton knocking his girl up with 4 kids and still didn't marry her. But then if she was to go put his ass on child support, then he'd be sitting there complaining.
Which I think I'm not sure she is, but if she's not, something wrong.
He probably got it where he got some kind of, he get joint custody. You see what I'm saying? And so like that. See, but they'll be sitting there talking. But if she was to get child support out of him, he'll be complaining.
Yeah, you're right.
You know what I'm saying? But those are excuses. These niggas ain't no more about marriage than these women. Than nobody else. They full shit.
I'll tell you one thing. If he's not paying
50% of marriages end in divorce. Okay. So 50% of marriages end in divorce, which means 50% of marriages don't. So at worst, marriage is a 50-50 proposition. What's your next fucking excuse?
It's like a flip of the coin.
Yeah, they acting like that's bad odds or something. if you have a 50-50 shot at something, how is that a bad deal?
Well, let's be honest, Amiri. Everybody, including women, they're looking for a guarantee. And that's not how the world fucking works.
That's how the world works. Exactly. But see this is what I'm talking about. They'll ignore like what we're saying right now because it don't make them feel good. But they'll swear up and down they operating off logic. Even though part of it's many brothers' aversion to marriage that see them in the position they in socioeconomically. Because black men who are married do better and they make it into that like 50% of black Kevin saying 50% of black men in the middle, however many, whatever percentage it is, in the middle class. The majority of those men in the middle class because they married, nigga. You know what I'm saying? Stop misquoting the fucking stuff. Read it all the way out, nigga. You know what I'm saying? Read it all the way out. The overwhelming majority of those brothers who are in the middle class, they're in the middle class because it's a black woman helped them get there. Why you sitting there talking that dumb shit? You know what I'm saying? That's all there is to it. No, that's what the stats say. That's what the article said. Military service, church attendance, and marriage were the engines of black men's economic, social upward mobility. Not being fucking single and out here ho-hopping around. Then when the child support monster boogeyman gets you, now you want to sit here and complain talking about this guy gynocracy in the system. I'm gonna tell Ed Anderson that well, you got to think about it, Queen of Virtue. There's no There's no marriage that has a happy ending. The only way you get out of marriage, like based on what you just said, the only way you get out of marriage is somebody die or you get a divorce.
Mhm.
See what I'm saying? There is no happy ending to it. So see, we look at it now with 50% of marriages end in divorce, but once upon a time, the only reason why men and women would stand together as long as they were is because they couldn't get divorced, or because of the social stigma that was attached to getting divorced. A lot of times the couple would still separate, they just wouldn't get divorced on paper. You see what I'm saying? They just getting divorced on paper. Like you look at it now, where we're talking about 50% of marriages end in divorce, but the majority of these dudes ain't getting married. Only 29% of black people get married. 29%. So would you rather have a population that was getting married and 50% of them get divorced, or a population where 70% of them not getting married? You think about it.
Mm.
You got a better chance with the marriage than you do not getting married at all. And it's just like what we talk about of like, see, eventually, just because those men don't get married, those men gonna have children. Regardless of what these niggas be lying on social media saying, talking about the majority of black men don't have kids, fucking lie. Eventually these niggas gonna have kids. So
But you
eventually
see,
the boogeyman gonna come visit. The child support boogeyman gonna become relevant for him.
but
You know
you know, I don't know what you call it like that. That shit's so wicked. Boogeyman.
the child support boogeyman.
The boogeyman. Yo, maybe somebody should come up with a name with that. A boogeyman is here with Michael Myers with the paper. I'm clicking my check, Negro.
So you got a better chance with the marriage thing than you do just never getting married, because sooner or later you're gonna have a child.
But you
Sooner or later.
know, I
But
always ask.
I'd rather you're gonna have kids. Go ahead.
I did post, and I may I should do a post on this question. Say, what is the average age when a man gonna have a kid first time? Because they talking about there's certain period, 15 and almost close to 30. So there has to be a mean. Oh, this is the age where you expect to have kids.
It's like
They never really talk about that. And I always froze a question, and I froze to some ladies. Some of them want to listen to it, and I said we gotta know, because y'all say these niggas having kids left and right. So there has to be an age where it said this is where the projection where you're supposed to have a kid first
Yeah,
time.
but you know they the average age when I looked, it was like 27. So that's what I'm
Okay.
saying. Like
Okay.
most men are having children later in life. So are women. They're having children later in
Yeah.
life. But
So
by the
so
time you get
actually it's actually lined up when I look at the data last year. They said the average age for a woman first time having a kid. This was last year now was 28 point something. So if a
yeah,
man's that means it's actually lined up. Really. So when we look at this gapping, that gapping is not really factual as something the norm where there's these people are like 15 or more age gaps. There might be some that maybe 5 or 10, but really when we talk about the medium, most people when they have kids and they're in a relationship or whatever is usually close to the same age. Still, after 20 years, when you and me were like adults back 20 years ago. You get me? So it's
yeah.
still roughly almost the same 20 years from now. But go ahead.
Yeah, um most people gonna have a child or two throughout the course. Now, and that's not even talking about the pregnancies and unwanted and unplanned pregnancies. You see what I'm saying? That's not even including that. These are pregnancies that was brought to term and the woman actually had the child. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? You're not even, that's a whole different set of data when it comes to that. But like by the time black men reach 30, 63% of them have a child. By the time they reach 40, 80% of them have a fucking child. So how the majority of y'all don't have children? So
Mm.
you're lying. And I know that it's the reason why the rhetoric about child support and all this other stuff resonates more than what I'm saying. I know why, because the majority of their asses are gonna have kids out of wedlock. Why they talking that dumb shit? Trying to sit there and pretend like they not. You know what I'm saying? Stop lying. It's the reason why they find what I'm saying offensive, man. I already know why. You know what I'm saying? I already know why.
Mm-hmm.
That's why they feel like. I remember I asked Ed Anderson that. Okay, so if the majority of black men don't have kids, how are we under gynocracy? Explain that. You know what I'm saying? If the gynocracy is all these laws they done put in place and all this other shit, we already know the majority of y'all ain't getting married, so you ain't got nothing. You shouldn't be talking about at fault divorce because you don't get married with your sorry asses. And then the other part is let y'all tell it the majority of y'all don't have kids, so child support and this other stuff ain't an issue. So how is there gynocracy then? Explain it. You're full of shit, man. You're full of shit. You want your cake and you want to eat it too. When I call them weak, that's what I mean. That's what I mean when I call them weak. They want it's whatever's convenient for them. See what I'm saying? They don't want to be inconvenienced. Well, that too, Queen of Virgin. Like, yeah, you don't even know how many of these dudes got kids and ain't even claiming them. But that's what I mean when I call them weak, Chaos. That's what I'm talking about. The positions they take these aren't positions based on principle or moral. These are positions based on whatever's convenient for them. So it's convenient to lie and claim the majority of y'all don't have kids. So what they can say is just like the community and everything is like this because these women. It's nothing because of them. That's what I mean when I call them weak. So if you really were saying the stuff you were saying out of principle, then you would be honest about the shit. But you'd rather sit there and lie to yourself and lie to each other. But that's why I say it don't matter because the objective reality. See, I don't get to change the power dynamics either, or none of this other stuff. That's why I said no amount of mammying from Shahrazad Ali gonna change the nature of power. If you're a male and you're in a subordinated position, you're gonna have those types of issues. Period. See what I'm saying? Power works the same for all of us. So I don't get to pick and choose. See what I'm saying? So no amount of mammy ain't gonna change it. Don't matter what Shahrazad Ali say or think, she can't change it.
Yeah, so you're saying that so Shahrazad Ali can't save these niggas? In other words,
Yeah, she can't change it. Even though she would like to, even though I would like to. It ain't gonna power is power, man, and it functions the way it functions for men. You can say it's unfortunate, you can say it ain't fair. Don't nobody care. This is just the way it is. I'm man enough to accept it for what it is. See what I'm saying? Be man enough to accept it.
Yeah.
I didn't say she was a mammy. I said mammying. It's mammying to sit here and lie to these dudes and make them think that they entitled to submission from a woman. That's mammying. That's lying. That's like you seen the movie Friday, right, Chaos?
Yeah, I saw Friday, the first one.
And I'm sure Queen of Virtue has seen Friday. Remember when Craig was fighting Debo? Remember?
Yeah, Queen. You remember? Queen.
He was fighting Debo, and then when Debo started whooping his ass, and his mama wanted to go out there and say, "Oh no, not my boy," and the dad was like, "No, holding her back. No, let him be a man." That's what I mean. Mammy lying to him. You should get the support. No, man. If you ain't performing, you ain't getting that. It don't matter where it don't matter what dynamic you put that in. The way power work gonna be the same. The way it work gonna be the same. So if you go on a job and you always late, your work performance is sorry, and you sitting there trying to tell somebody else something, that person not gonna listen to you. It's the same thing in the fucking house. It's not the woman's job to keep the family together. That's your job as the man. That's your job as the husband. What it is, a lot of these dudes want these wives to do the husbandry. No, that's your job. Period. So if you want this woman to be down with your program, then you need to be performing. Now it's different if you're performing and then you fall on hard times, or you see what I'm saying? It's different. That's a different thing.
Yeah.
That's totally different.
And here's a good question I'll lay out to you, Amiri. Now I know that I hear a lot of ladies talk about if their man fall off like in hard times, they say what they should do. Well, my thing is this: if you and him are married in a marriage, if he's always been doing what he should be doing, it's expected, you do what you can to hope that he gets back on his feet eventually. You get me? See, the problem with life happens for a reason. And when I hear questions from women proposing that, I know by default that you were not really in it from the start. And the better off you him just had this relationship not even committed any further. You get me? Because see, once people got when binding contracts and marriage, this is supposed to be somewhere. This is supposed to be last time I check a lifetime. Last time I check. I mean, it's not something that you look at as any other thing like corporations and all that shit.
Yeah.
Because let's be honest, I'm married. If people tell me this is like a corporation, corporations get take over. Who's taking over this? Brother, the lunacy I hear people today when they compare marriage with corporation. And I say, this is nothing like a corporation.
Right.
Have you?
Have I what?
That they say that marriage is like a corporation. You know what I'm saying? We make it as
I haven't heard people say that.
this is a business thing. Yeah, go ahead.
Well, yeah, that's because they talk about marriage as a business. They just repeating shit they heard, man. You think they know about marriage? These niggas, that's what I'm saying. They get married the least. So where you think they get that from? They just repeating shit they didn't heard people say. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So when I'm talking, I'm not even talking about the business. I'm talking about just the way power works, man. And what I'm saying is that leadership is an exercise in setting the example. Leadership is not running your mouth and pointing your fucking finger and barking orders. That's not leadership. That's not leadership. Leadership is setting the example. Meaning you don't ask people that you want to follow you to do something you're not willing to do. So it'd be like how I'm sitting up here saying what I'm saying if I was doing something contrary. But everything that I'm saying is lines right up with my life, in the decisions I made, in the choices I've made, in the stuff I endured. So I'm not sitting here being a hypocrite. I'm not sitting here asking people to do something I'm not willing to do. It'd be hypocritical of me, like Dr. Umar Johnson, for example, to sit here talking about married black women, but yet you ain't married no black woman. But we'll let these people rock.
Yeah, you're right about that.
You got kids, you got baby mamas. See what I'm saying? And it's just the same way in a household. So if you want the woman to be down with the program, you have to set the example. You have to set the example. At a certain point in time, it has nothing to do with the woman. If you're setting the example and the woman chooses to not follow the example, then that's not on you, that's on her. You've done your job at that point. You've done your job. It's like the Bible say, remember Lot's wife. Lot couldn't stop his wife from looking back. But he did what he was supposed to do in getting her out of the environment where calamity was coming. She chose to look back.
Looking and he turned to a pillar of salt.
Yeah, at that point he's done his job. What you have today is niggas not doing their job, but want to sit here talking about what the woman should be doing. But you ain't even doing your job. See what I'm saying? You're not even doing your job. So what you expect, man? That's what I say. It's no such thing as submissive breadwinners. So you saying this woman making 80,000 a year, and unfortunately you making 40, you are the bitch in the relationship. That's just how it go.
Oh shit! Oh shit!
But that's what it is, man. I know they don't want to hear that. See, that ain't gonna make them feel good to hear that, but that's just what it is. Or if you making 45 in a relationship and your woman making 40, that ain't a big enough gap for this woman to fall in line. You know what I'm saying? It just is what it is. You can say it's wrong, you can say whoop de woo, whatever you want to say, but I guarantee you ain't gonna be getting submission. See, we think men used to get submission like that. That's because that's what we think. That, you know what I'm saying? That's what we think. We think that. But it wasn't always like that. Those men used to be catching hell in their relationships even then. But see, back then in that time, it was taboo to have those family problems. That's why they had to come up with the no fault divorce shit. Because it was taboo. It was an embarrassment. Like you see like what Will and Jada going through?
Yeah.
That's how it used to be. So that's why you had to have like specific reasons and validations and for the divorce and stuff like that. And it would become a public spectacle, like within that neighborhood, within your community.
Mm-hmm.
There was a stigma attached to it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? It was a stigma. But that's gone now, man. So what brothers want to hear, like they think like how the woman was following Derek Jackson. And it's because see Derek Jackson, he lied to them, tell them what he want to hear. Yeah, that might be true, but y'all do the same thing. Because that's what they want to hear.
The only thing, because Derek Jackson has that look and appeal that he could monetize telling women anything they want to hear. And that's why he made so much of his money for last almost a decade until last year. And he was a millionaire.
But what I'm saying is they do the same. The men do the same thing. They do the same thing because that's what they want to hear. They want to hear, man. They want to hear that the woman should be feminine, which I'm not saying she's not. I'm not saying that she's not a woman not supposed to be feminine. I'm not saying that. But I'm just saying they want to hear that this woman should wake them up with a BJ every day and submit and and be shamefaced.
But say again, you broke up.
I said they want to hear that the woman should be, have her head down and be submissive and prostrate herself and worship the ground he walks on and whoop. That's not reality though. See what I'm saying? Not reality. Yeah. I'm not saying I don't get the need to want to have your woman be submissive. I'm not saying that's wrong. I'm just telling you why your asses ain't getting it. You know what I'm saying? That's all I'm saying. I'm just telling you why. I'm just telling you the why, man. I'm just telling you the why. And you can't tell me you're not, because they the ones on here all day talking about black women don't submit. Like I said, you don't really see me talking about that because I ain't dealing with black women.
Mm-hmm.
So I ain't got that issue. You see what I'm saying? So I'm not the one making that complaint.
Yeah. Your background's pretty loud. We just heard that. I don't know if you're not.
Yeah, I know my phone. I put my phone down and hit the lamp. It sounded like a gong.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So, like I said, man, what I'm saying is just coming from a place of logic, man. It's coming from a place of logic. Yeah. And so it's just, I can't sit here and lie to you because life doesn't work like that.
Yeah.
Like you got that dude who was doing all that talking about black women whoop de woo and hit his white girl and stabbed the shit out your ass like Michael Myers. Now you about to paint.
Oh damn. Yeah.
But doing all that goddamn talking. Like we need to talk about how it's people really think it's in to be a coon. And like, you know what I'm saying? Like cooning is fashionable right now. Till something bad happened to their ass, and now that those same cooning tweets and stuff come back. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying it should have happened to him. I never spoke on it. It's unfortunate. I feel bad for the dude, but what I'm saying is you can't really blame people for bringing it up because he's the one who put it out there.
Yeah,
he the one who put the cooning comments out there. We don't constantly need a reminder of how you don't deal with black women like you ain't doing nothing to us.
Well, he's African, but you know, like I get you. He's like typical most sea dudes.
Yeah,
Somewhat.
but what I'm saying is not that's just prevalent right now, is what I'm saying. It's
Yeah.
just prevalent. You know what I'm saying? And the reason why it's so prevalent right now is because you have a lot of these people not being guided right by these people they give prominence to when it comes to this. Like I said, it's the difference between being a relationship breakup expert and being a relationship expert. It's a fucking difference. They're not relationship experts, they're relationship breakup experts. See what I'm saying? There's a difference, man.
Yep. Yep. I get.
Yeah, there's a
Let me see if
difference.
anybody else have any other questions. Let's look.
Okay.
I see D Darrell. I guess D Darrell doesn't want to come up, and you know, I think I said pretty much
Did you
it.
want to come up?
No one actually. Surprisingly, I did put it there because you know,
What's Cerulean been at? What's up with Cerulean?
he's been busy, man. He's been working. Let's see, well, no, I'm not gonna do it. It's late night. Think about it. He probably is, but you know, at times I didn't really put this on the Discord, the stream, unfortunately. I didn't have
Oh, okay.
time. So, but still, you know, he knows where. Anytime I do something or is on another channel, he might pop up. He might
Yeah,
not.
because I might not go back. I'm probably gonna go back to work till probably Friday, maybe Thursday night or Friday.
Okay.
You know what I'm
Okay.
saying?
Okay.
But yeah, but you know, you gotta be hard with this generation. You know what I'm saying? Like I was having a conversation with my son the other day, yesterday. You know,
Yeah.
and I was just telling him, I was telling my younger sons tonight that you know, in life you get to pick your choices, you don't get to pick your consequences,
Mhm.
and that's what we have a problem with.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's what we have a problem with, man. You got to be man enough to accept the consequences of your actions.
I think enough men has not really experienced any real consequence yet
Queen of
to
Virtue
really.
said,
Hmm?
"What does that mean? What does what mean?" She said, "Queen of Virtue." She said, "What does that mean?"
Yeah. What does that mean? Queen Virtue. You could type in.
Yeah, what she?
Yeah.
Yeah, but you know, in life, you get to pick your choices. You don't get to pick your consequences.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And there's no such thing. And like you was just saying, people want guarantees right now, but there is no guarantee.
Hmm.
You don't know. You reap what you sow. You get in what you put out of something. Oh, she said relationship breakup expert, meaning many of these people can tell you how to get in a relationship and how to get out of it, but they can't tell you how to maintain it because they haven't done it.
Hmm.
So they have like, I don't want to hear about your fucking theories. So you have theorists and you have practitioners. I don't want to hear your theories about how you think a relationship is supposed to go and how would it go in a perfect world, because it's not a perfect world. You see what I'm saying? So I don't so I'm not so naive as to think that if sisters just in mass did become fit, feminine, and submissive overnight, you still wouldn't have the types of relationship dynamics that we do have. You won't have the type of divorce rates you have, so forth and so on. You still would be faced with many of the same things because it's not that simple. It's never that simple. That's what I'm saying. That relate a lot. What it is at the end of the day is people don't want to put in the hard work that it takes to maintain a relationship. They want it to be easy. They think it's supposed to be easy, but it's not. Relationships aren't easy. Like it's just like what I was talking about, like with a man who does perform at a high level, then might fall on hard times. That's a different thing. Like it's not so simple as a man merely providing. It's a lot more complicated than that. It's a lot more that goes into it than that. It's the reason why people can look at Will and Jada's relationship and they think that Will and Jada should be straight and should have the perfect relationship, but you don't know Will Smith fuck his idiosyncrasies. You don't know the things about Will Smith that might be toxic. You don't see him at his worst moments like Jada has. She's seen him up close and personal more than any of us. See, we looking at Will Smith as the movie fucking star. But she knows Will Smith on a much more interpersonal level, and as we all know, familiarity breeds contempt. So it's not as simple. It's not as simple as a man merely providing. It's a lot of other things that go into it. So I'm not naive to think that you can sell people that because they don't know no better. They don't know no.
One thing I will say, I've noticed now that Will has gotten a lot of hit ups for some gigs for some more movies since that slap, surprisingly. But we will see what will happen. I
Yeah,
know.
I mean,
I mean, but my thing is this: he's not
Mm.
gonna be no stranger of not getting work. See, when a man built himself and his catalog for the last 30 years or 29 years or whatever, since his first movie, 6 Degrees of Separation, on the other movies like Independence Day and etc., that he's always gonna have work. See, people gotta say once you reach a plateau as a entertainer, only thing that you're gonna have to worry about is going downhill.
Yeah,
But
he gonna be all right. I mean, you know what I'm saying? He'll be all right, fiscally and in terms of his career and stuff like that. But I'm just using that as an example to talk about the ins and outs and the nuances and caveats of relationships. Like you're gonna have bad days, you're gonna have bad times, so forth and so on. It becomes a problem when those things become the norm and just the standard operating procedure.
all right,
You know
I
what
have
I'm saying?
somebody. I have
Yeah.
somebody in the panel. Somebody came up. Hello,
Okay.
D. Darrell. How you doing?
What's up, player? What's going on, man?
I'm good. We good. We good.
What's up, man? How you doing?
What's up, brother? How you doing, man?
You doing all right?
So I see we talking about Cam Newton, we talking about black YouTube events.
Yeah, a bunch of things. Yeah, it's a lot of things. It's Amiri
Are,
Brown's time today. He's my
are
special
you
guest.
are you
Mhm.
referencing the Manosphere? I mean, I know Obsidian got an event coming up.
I'm not really going into that. It's like just in general, to be honest with
Oh,
you.
okay. Yeah, it seemed like that's the new fad now, man. Everybody, see Boogie got stuff. I mean, a lot of people, they all got little, things that they doing. Lapeep Network going on the road, they got stuff. I mean, that's the new hustle.
That's all it is a hustle.
That's the new hustle. I mean, the thing about it is that I'm actually surprised that this just caught on because when you look at other sectors, like particularly the other sectors, they've been doing this for a second. You know what I'm saying? We act this space is actually late to the game, as far as I'm concerned. Um, I mean, the money is if you put on a like say for instance, I remember back in 2000, I want to say 17. Was it 18?
Mm-hmm.
I think Boys Watkins put on his event in Houston. I went to that. I mean, he made a ton of money, and it was an upscale. I mean, I got to give it to him, man. He spends money on those events. I mean, I don't know how everybody else do, but Boys had a week long a series from like Thursday to Sunday. From like I'm talking 12 hour, 8 to 10 to 12 hour activities per day. I mean, this was upscale stuff in the Marriott. I actually went that Friday and that Saturday. Particularly that Saturday, I was there for like 8 hours. Food furnished. You when you come in, they're giving you a packet with books and other information. CD books, pamphlets. I mean, it was highly organized. I mean, I was impressed, man. But I mean, boys, that he did the All Black convention or whatever, man. He probably made um anywhere between
A million.
I'm not gonna say a million because it was. I mean, it had about for the 4 days, I'm gonna say on average, you probably had anywhere between 200 to 300 people per day. Because you only can fit, you could probably fit 300 people in that pavilion. But he definitely made six figures. I'll put it like that. He definitely made hundreds of thousands of dollars. I'll give him that. And I was impressed, man. But I have yet to see anything. I'm talking what the white manosphere has done, uh, as far as the manosphere and others. I haven't seen anybody do anything close to that. And it's not just because I went to that one, because I've been to many type of professional events, and by far that was the best event that I've ever seen from top to bottom as far as organization. The money that he spent, man, boy spends money on this stuff. Like these people are traveling. Like when I was talking to some of the people who were actually hosting certain vendors and stuff for like selling t-shirts and other different stuff. I mean, these people were from the East Coast. They had people, I was talking to ladies from DC, New York. These people came in working for Boyce, as you know, they when he does events and travel, they, you know, this is what they do for a living. And I have yet to see anybody have anything organized to that level. I mean, I know you can criticize Boyce for a lot of things, but as far as hosting a real event, upscale, like A1 event, man, I haven't seen anybody do anything close to what he's done. I seen Michi X came to Houston. She did something that was okay. I seen Phil Scott did something at the Hotel Derrick that was okay. It was all right. It was cool. You know, I mean, Thomas Sotomayor did something that flopped in the Galleria about 4 or 5 years ago, where hardly nobody came. I mean, I've seen some things.
What up, everybody?
Yeah, man. He did an event, man. I think he had like 2 or 3 people showed up, and I know he spent at least $5 to $6 grand to rent that place, to only have like 3 people show up. He lost on that event, but now I missed the last one that C Boogie did in Houston in March. I think it was February. It was February 3rd or something like that. I ended up having to go to I had to go out of town, but I wanted to stay for that because I wanted to support my brother. But he actually did a pretty decent event. It was at a nice hotel on the northwest side of Houston, which is a nice area near Jersey City. So he definitely picked a good spot. I mean, to me, it's all about the resources that you got. I mean, you know, he actually had a lot of different guest speakers and stuff. Then I was going to actually be a vendor. I was going to post and do a presentation of my company and so forth. And he asked me about doing it. I told him I would like to do it. I had to back out 2 weeks before the event because I had to go back to Louisiana to go visit family and some stuff I had to do. But I mean, it's a money maker, man. I mean, if you put it together right and it coincides with everything, you got the right speakers, you promote it, you can make a nice grip. I mean, it's no denying.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's no denying, man. But to me, it's how you promote it. And I mean, the guy had an all-star panel of people, man. I haven't seen anybody do
What
anything.
was Boyce Watkins talking about?
What was Boyce? What was he talking about?
Yeah, what was his event about? Like the economic stuff?
The event was about money, about investing. It was a lot of stuff about real estate, man. The focus was a lot on real estate. A lot of the people, I'm gonna say this, man. A lot of the people that came were trying to learn real estate.
Mm-hmm.
And really, Boyce Watkins was really, the way he presented the real estate, it was like for people who had money to like be like a real estate investor, not necessarily somebody that's trying to learn real estate. And I know for that there were a lot of people asking a lot of questions because they were trying to learn. Like, I mean, Boyce Watkins real estate is not necessarily something, even though he may discuss it, that's not his bread and butter. You know, he usually talking about investing. stocks, bonds, Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies and stuff. Real estate really not his his bread and butter. And also, man, Boyce Watkins' brother is brilliant, man. And he don't even talk about his brother like, man. Boyce got a younger brother, man. He's brilliant, man. He was highly intelligent, and he talked a lot about money management and investing and stuff. I mean, I learned a lot, man, and I actually took a class. He had a class on just learning fundamentals of investing. I'm a person, I have a brokerage accounts and stuff where I got two different. I do investing with Ameritrade and Fidelity. So I do in my own personal investing and stuff, and I've learned some of the fundamentals from a couple of his classes. I mean,
Okay.
I was impressed, man. I mean, I know Boyce Watkins can be highly criticized, but I have yet to see anybody on YouTube, period. I'm talking, I don't care which sector they in. I have yet to see anybody from what they've shown, what I've seen, that come close to what he put on, you know, uh, just from looking at it from an optics standpoint. You had catered food, I mean, I think I paid like, I think it was like $150 or something like that for that day. But
Mm-hmm.
what you got out of that, man, I mean, you got a lot out of that. It was a good investment. I mean, you're getting your money's worth, basically what I'm stating. You're gonna get your money's worth.
All right, cool. So they
Yeah,
trying to
so
jump out into the having events thing. All right, cool.
yeah, man. I mean, I mean, I'm gonna say this, man. Like, I could see that becoming. What I would like to see, man, is a meeting of all sectors type thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, forget if you in the pro-black sector, manosphere sector. I like to see just like a all-black YouTube type event where you
Well,
got all the popular.
you know what happened when you get a bunch of us in one place, man. You see why Will smacked.
Nah, but see, my thing.
You see how
People
Will
say
smacked Chris
that,
Rock?
man.
Can you imagine? Could you imagine?
Yeah, but see, my thing. See, if you come from an HBCU background,
Yeah,
I mean, like I seen Dennis Sperling. He went to Grambling. I went to
no,
Southern. So he talked about coming from, I think he was coming from Houston or California, whatever. When he saw like the college like life and stuff, how people were like, say, the Bayou Classic or whatever, where you got all these Negroes together, ain't no violence, ain't no craziness,
mm,
just people having a good time.
right,
That's how it is in the black college arena.
yeah,
Like when I went to school, man, and stuff, man, like, man, it wasn't all that. It wasn't no violence like that. It wasn't no craziness, fights, man. It was just black people together on one accord, peacefully having fun. You didn't need. It wasn't no foolishness. I mean, it could be done. It's just that you just got to have the right people with the right mind. But see, I come from that background, so I'm I seen it done. It can be done. It's just that you just got to have the right people with the right mindset. You can't have everything. It could be open, but it can't be too open. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Uh, that's how I look at it, man. But I think it could be done, man, if you just got the right people there with the right mindset. You got to price it right so that you know you can weed out people that's coming there with bad intentions. Because I'm just be honest with you, nobody's spending their hard-earned money to go there and get something messed up. You know what I'm saying? Mess an event up. If you spending a certain amount of money, you gonna carry yourself in a certain way. So, and let's say you got people like Field Advise, uh, you know, uh, people like that, Tasha K, some bigger YouTubers. The guy that, like, the biggest black YouTubers, that guy that does the tech stuff. that he got like 11 million. So that's like the
No,
biggest.
you mean Marcus Brown? He has like now almost 14 million subscribers.
Yeah, that guy is like one of the biggest YouTubers, regardless of race or whatever. Man,
Is he the biggest black? Is he the biggest black YouTuber?
I think he is.
I think so too. I don't think anybody else is nowhere close to.
If he's not, he's definitely the top two or three.
Talking about?
Marcus Brownie.
I don't even know who that is.
Yeah,
Man.
He's the 29-year-old. He's a 29-year-old from New Jersey. He's a tech dude. He started his channel back in 2009, just doing basic tech, and it grew.
So what is channel about? Tech?
Yes, all forms of tech, phones, computers, games, etc. He does.
How many subscribers he got?
Almost 14 million. I'll send it to your Facebook. Give me a second.
Yeah, I know he did. Yeah. Most of those probably white though. Most of those subscribers.
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah.
But like guys like that, Kevin Samuels, a lot of the to me, people that got well over 200,000, 300,000, 500,000. When you got guys like that all in one place, they could be talking about YouTube, their content, how they built their channel, how they monetized as a business, how they've used that to build other streams of income. I mean, I think that would be a great thing to do. But it can't be something where people paying $50 to get in, because when you get people paying something that cheap, you can it's any and everybody with bad, people heckling them, and you get. But if you got something that costs like $200-$300 to get in, and it's an exclusive situation,
yeah.
I mean, and nobody gonna be acting up paying that kind of money. Ain't trying to get kicked out.
Most of the pro-black sector is comprised of former thugs, niggas who done got too old to be ignorant out there in the streets now. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah,
right.
That's just what it is.
That's true.
If it's gonna be any ignorance, it's going. You seen what happened to Tommy when he went to the
yeah, man, I saw that.
Thing, dude put hands on him for no reason. Like, whether you agree with a person viewpoints or not, that don't give you the right to put your hands on them. You see what I'm saying?
Facts. And the thing about it, man, Tommy Sotomayor missed the boat, man. This dude should have way more clout. Like, the dude missed out on so much money on YouTube, chasing behind the next story to just he don't. My issue with Tommy is that he don't think long term, man. He thinks, like, I know, didn't they just shut another channel down that he had not too long ago?
I heard about it. Yeah,
like, dude, like he on OnlyFans. Like, why are you on OnlyFans doing porn to make money? All these years you've been on YouTube, this is what you got to show. You on OnlyFans doing porn and shit like that. Like, really? Like that? See, people think. See, the dude, this Tommy Sotomayor blew away so much of his money, all that money he made on YouTube. His peak. Tommy been on YouTube since what? 2013 or 14?
Well, they said around 10 or 11, but yeah.
Oh, okay, 10 or 11. Okay, he been on YouTube for like 12 years, man. And all of that, you on OnlyFans right now doing pornographic shit for money.
Man gotta eat, man. If he can't keep his channel up, what are you gonna do? He's gonna sit to go into life.
But see, that's the problem. 12 years in, man, you should have been retired. Man, the dude should have actually elevated himself above YouTube. The dude missed out on all kinds of opportunities. I remember he lost the contract. He was gonna get a contract with the Republican Party to advertise, and they was gonna give sponsorships for him. He missed out on so many sponsorships behind chasing YouTube clout. And if he would have effectively kept those, or would have obtained those contracts, man, he could have. All he had to do is clean up his content just a little bit. Don't do all that super outrageous stuff, but keep it, somewhat contained and follow whatever they wanted you to do. Man, when you got the Republic, when he remember he had that politician that was
Oh
only
yeah,
10.
actually, that woman, from what I'm hearing, that she really was into Tommy. That she really wanted to, get on her knees and gave him that,
Yeah,
the
but see,
business.
the thing about it is, he shouldn't have never put that out for YouTube clout.
Yeah,
He
yeah, I
shouldn't have
agree with
never
that.
did that. The dude missed out on a bag. I'm talking every political cycle. He could have had Republican Party giving him tens of thousands of dollars to promote um Republican candidates. Ongoing shit. You missed that out because you wanted to point out emails and text messages between she wanted you didn't want her, she was begging. Like, dude, that wasn't worth it. Our money is not good money.
Mhm.
And my thing is that let me know you blew your money
But
because you
you do
spending.
stuff like that for being raised by a single mother. That's something a woman would have did.
Yeah. My thing is this: you up there paying $2,500, $5K for women and shit, flying them in. That shit take its toll, man. For him to be doing porn and shit like that, let me know he blew his money. He blew all the money that he made. He blew that money. Ain't no fucking way.
How much you think he was making at his height?
I think Tommy was making at his height. I think he was making about $2 million, somewhere between $1.5 million to $2 million at his height.
Wow.
Yeah, I think he was. Matter of fact, I'm gonna say this. I know he was making that kind of money because when I never really was a big fan of his because he just was doing too much. But I'm not just talking about on the views, but on the fact of the matter. I think Tommy had a Patreon too.
I think he still does. He still
Yeah,
does.
the Patreon. When you look at everything as far as the Patreon
And
and the fact,
OnlyFans now.
yeah, we're not OnlyFans, but he had a Patreon too. But when you look at the fact that Tommy, Tommy was getting a lot of this dude was getting like you think Kevin like when you see Kevin Samuel getting all those super chats, man, Tommy was the first, I would say, person I seen getting those $300, $400, $500 super chats consistently when that shit
Mm-hmm.
was. Tommy was getting that shit like big time. And so when you look at that, man, I think Tommy was making about $1 million to $2 million a year. I'm gonna say he was making that probably from like 2014 or 15 up until about 17. You remember they had that AdSense crisis
Mm-hmm.
where they
Yeah.
took shit away, and he still was
Wait.
making money.
Actually, they didn't take away. They start cutting back on the
Yeah,
monetization and how you get monetized at the time.
exactly.
That was 2017, 2018, I think.
Yeah,
2018.
that's what I meant. They cut back on that. There was a bunch of people left YouTube after that. Tommy was
Hell
still
yeah.
making money. Tommy was still making money. He did not get Tommy Sotomayor did not get hurt. I mean, he may have not made as easily, but Tommy was still making his money during that AdSense crisis. And so when you look at the fact you've been on this thing for like 12 years, and you on OnlyFans to pay the bills, that lets me know either you in debt, you didn't manage your money, and you was paying. All you was doing was paying for women. I
Tricking off the
But
money.
but Deidre, that's what's typical for the average Negro today. Either
yeah, and that's
you either you know what.
Exactly, Kev. That's all they're gonna do with that kind of money is consume it upon their wickedness. You see what I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm.
Like
Yeah.
that's all they're gonna fucking do, man.
Yeah.
Now you reduce to, but let's get this straight. If a woman on OnlyFans doing her thing, it's an indictment of her moral character, but it's not an indictment of fucking yours. And your like what D. Durrell is saying in terms of his business acumen and his money management, because you're fucked up in the game right now. That's why you gotta That's why you gotta sink to that level to do that.
yeah.
You see what I'm talking about?
And to me, you are too popular and have made too much money to be doing shit like that.
To
I
still come to naught. Yeah.
yeah, to make money to me, you should be hosting parties and got shit like that going on and putting that on Patreon so people can see, not you actually performing to get paid. That's hilarious, man. But to me, I shake my head to it because there's other people on here that claim they balling and making all this money. They're in the same predicament. You know? I mean, they on YouTube, and they're not even making half the money Tommy making. And they doing and spending money well above their needs and shit. And but then you got to sustain that shit, man. Like right now, like say for instance, let's look at Tasha K. Man, Tasha K struggling right now.
You sure about that?
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you how, man, because she ain't pay all that money yet.
I heard around Cardi B, I don't know, made her remove those videos. There's something going on right now.
Yeah, but she still had to pay all she still had to pay the money. She was ordered to pay all kind of money, man.
Got to get it.
It's $4 million right now. It's the total
and she don't have it.
I know she don't got it.
So who you think she working for right now?
Got to get it.
She working for Cardi B right now. See, that's what I'm saying.
I heard a rumor floating around that she might do some time in jail.
Nah, I don't think she's gonna do no time in jail. For what? Not for that. That was civil. That wasn't criminal.
Yeah, that's not a criminal case.
I know why white people create these little floating. Well, I think it was something that they do for clickbait, but yeah.
Nah, man, she not going to jail. Now, what's gonna happen is, because that was feds. Like, she gonna have to pay that money, and if she was smart, she actually need to try to get to reality star status. She need to get on a reality. She actually
that's coming. That's coming.
She gonna have to do that, man. What she gonna have to do? She gonna have to write a book, and she gonna have to get on.
That's coming too.
That's the only way she can. And all of that money is going to talk to Cardi B. But I think she could, to be honest, because she was actually making about $1 million a year. I actually think that Tasha K could probably pay that debt out in about 2 to 3 years if she committed herself to doing it. And because the channel is still making a lot of money, but the problem is that money gonna go to Cardi B. Because my thing is that you did all of that shit knowing that you was lying. You knowingly was lying, but refused to take the shit down. And it was a bad bit. Again, you're not thinking long term. You thinking. She also fell victim to thinking short term for views instead of looking at it long term. Long term is that you should have just posted a video, you got the views you needed, and took the shit down when she asked you to take it. Not keep it up and keep an ongoing beef between you and Cardi B just for views. And my thing is, you're not even financially on Cardi B level to even be trying to fight her like that.
But Darrell, that was the whole point why she defended and fought it the way she did. And mind you, in the state of Georgia, Atlanta, where she's at, she could have hired a black attorney, male or female. But she chose to hire a white person and tells you how she views about you niggas.
No, man, I don't even think it's that. I think that she got conned because she thought she was gonna get away with this shit.
Brother.
Yes.
Brother.
I don't think it has.
You can't get conned. There's no way she was gonna win this, even if she had the money to even fight it.
Man,
the things that was out of her reach, she went and attempted to see by paying some attorney that's out her league in regards to fighting a certain case, and she gave the money to say, "Fuck it, I'm gonna put it out there and then just try to see if you can make me win." And that's not how things work for a lot of attorneys.
No, it don't. And Olga is not that type of attorney either. Which was, to be honest with you, man, that shit was a fucking travesty to even. I mean, it was the way she handled that case. But my thing is that you paid this lady all this money to throw a case, because that's basically what she did. and you didn't realize that. But see, that lets me know the intelligence, man, from her, not just her, but with her husband too. Like y'all sat there and knew this lady was not fit to take this case. You had everybody in your ear. Um, you don't have the money to out litigate Cardi B. Number one, all she had to do was take the shit. If she should have taken the videos down, because now you put yourself $4 million in debt. That's what I'm looking at. Forget the lawyer and all that. No, the fact of the matter is that you chose to keep that shit going for views and for your channel, and you wasn't even looking at the long-term effects of that. You know what I'm saying? The long term, you coming out $4 million that you don't even have. And that to me was the biggest mistake she made. You got to think long term. If you want to claim YouTube is your business and it's your way of making money, you treating it like a business, then you have to be business minded. And business minded is that you got to avoid stuff like this, because now you're going to be spending money that you don't need to be spending money on. That money could have been towards building your brand, but now the money's going towards somebody else's account. So, I mean, it was careless. It was, I don't know, the advisement that she got was horrible. And, you know, she I don't think she's going to recover. Like, all this stuff she doing right now, she doing the little interviews. Man, this lady is hurting. That shit is a facade. I don't even think she could sleep at night. I'm just going to be honest with you.
Well, she shouldn't, and I expect her to, because what she did, especially slander about somebody with STD, people take that serious. People know when you have kids, and people say, "Oh my God, you kissing your kid, you're infecting your kid." That hurts the person.
But she knew it wasn't true. She knew it wasn't true, and she still did.
Come on, man.
Well,
it wasn't true, because if it was true, Cardi would have won. She would have lost.
Yeah, I mean, I know. I'm just saying. Like, I wouldn't have been shocked if it came out she had the Nestle Crunch going on. You know what I'm saying?
Oh God,
I wouldn't have been shocked. That wouldn't have been like a news flash or nothing, you know. But let me ask you this, D. Darrell. So, like, what type of content pushes you to that space of what you was just talking about?
Push me
do
towards.
Do you think it depends on the audience, or what do you think? What do you think drives it?
As far as the T sector, or the
I mean, anything, like just any type of content.
I mean, for me, I'm gonna say this: for YouTube, it's about being liked. If the people like you, they gonna watch whatever you do. You're gonna have a certain amount of people that's just gonna like to watch you, no matter what kind of content you're doing. And say for somebody like Tanya, I mean Tasha K, they actually like her. When she did the wine thing, she started coming out with the wine shit, and you get a glass of wine with me and all that kind of shit. A lot of people gravitated towards that, and they would sit there and watch her after work or between whatever to see what kind of gossip shit she was talking about. And they got drawn into that, man. And she started being this pseudo friend on YouTube that could spill the beans on people that they really don't have time to be looking up and finding this. You can go to her.
Actually.
Yeah, you can go to her and she'll give you all the tea. So that's how she drew them in, because she provided something more than just the video itself. She provided an atmosphere to make them feel like they just chilling with their homegirls, and they just
it's
chopping
fuckery.
It up.
Fuckery she provide, and that's what that's what people love. Fuckery. If you provide that, you're going to get a following. You're going to get a very strong, large following.
Another thing she did, man, she upgraded her like cameras and shit, like the way she do those interviews and shit, man, with the wine, like, man, she spent money on that shit. She upgraded her. She upgraded her content. So my thing is that she provided it in a way it was unique, because nobody else was doing that, and she stood out. And so even men watch her. You know, there's a lot of men watch Tasha K too, and I I know for a fact she also has a lot of people that are in the church sectors on YouTube. It's
Wow.
a couple, yeah, man. Like I'm in the little other sector I'm in. We've kind of connected with the church sector, and then we found out some of the major figures in that sector. Um, uh, Tasha K well connected with them in Atlanta. One guy, man, I know for a fact, it's a LGBT guy. This guy had about 16,000 subscribers, right? And he was doing anywhere between 80 to maybe 100 live stream on a live. That's where he would on average. Tasha K promoted his channel, right? He went from 18,000 to like 32,000. And on top of that, his live streams now are doing anywhere between 150 to 500. Matter of fact, he was so hot like a couple of weeks after she promoted him up, he was doing 1,500 to 2,000 at one time, particularly if she was in there or whatever. So she's hot in other sectors too that like that kind of shit. So she has a big reach.
Okay, yeah, because she got over 1 million subscribers too, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
Tasha got over 1 million. Now she lost some subscribers. That's
Yeah,
the
but
thing. Remember,
that's irrelevant. As long as you're on
yeah,
YouTube, you do content. Trust
she
me.
got them back. She got
Trust
them
me.
back.
You know the other two brothers that do their late night show, they lost 200 subscribers and they got it back within 2 months.
Yeah,
You talking
must
about?
You know what I'm talking about?
2 pounds, fresh and fit.
Yes. Yes. And think about it. The reason why I say is because as long as you're putting out content, your whole purpose is to get new viewers, new subscribers.
Right.
So obviously, you get like 1,000 more a day. That's nothing in the bucket. Losing a couple thousand.
Right.
So it's all about putting out. It's all about putting out content consistently, huh?
Exactly.
No, just not only because of what the certain type of content that is friendly and what people not only want, but it's friendly to the
Well, I mean,
algorithm.
there's always an audience for whatever you want to talk about. I think.
And
I just
mind you,
think,
the algorithm dictates how far your channel goes. That's why
yeah,
we look at
it's based on what people see. You know what I mean? Like what's going to show up in their, in their
notifications and the recommendations where it shows on the side of the phone or whatever. You know what I mean?
but like we already noticed, the whistleblower came out and talked about how these algorithms are set up, and they're set up to gear people towards the most polarizing content, the content that's going to engender the most negative feelings. You know what I'm saying? Like that's just how it is. With a lot of these social media apps, man. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? But what I'm
Yeah.
saying is that no matter what your messaging is, you can there's always an audience for it. You know what I'm saying? It just depends on, like what you was just saying, Chaos. A lot of it does have to do with, with the reach and how many impressions and stuff like that. And those things are driven by, by the algorithm and stuff like that. It's getting to the point now to where everything is becoming, like calcified, where now it's hard for like new channels to really break out and stuff like that, I think.
Mm-hmm.
But I know, like, it's people I don't watch and I'm not subscribed to, like, in this sector, and I get notifications and stuff about their channel.
Yeah.
I'll go on YouTube and I'm like, I don't want to see this nigga. You know what I'm saying? Or I don't want to see this. You know what I mean? Like I don't listen. Most of the things I'm gonna listen to on YouTube are gonna be like, I watch survivalist, I watch paranormal channels, I watch
fighting channels like anime.
Yeah, well, no, not anime, like
Okay.
pro black channels. You know what I'm saying? I don't really watch like Manosphere channels, but what I'm saying is Manosphere content creators will still get suggested, even though I don't.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So now, what about this whole thing with the guy who went on that mass shooting in New York? Now, because what one of the things I said was you're gonna start seeing more of that coming from brothers. And what I heard was that this guy was a moderator in some of these manosphere content creators chat rooms. What y'all
Yeah,
think about that?
he was.
Yeah,
So what do you think?
but
What do you think of the
I will say this because
uh-huh.
that's new information I heard about this. I kind of thank George Macon for doing the video he did on this. A lot of people think that these things are staged or real. I'm be honest with you, if anything they wanted to draw attention, they're gonna use a Negro. And what that dude did, if we look at his background hard, that he is one of the catalysts for anything more stirring to what's possibly to come. Now, are they gonna slow what these niggas doing on YouTube? Absolutely fucking not. I'll tell you what it's doing now to some of them. Some of them are getting shook, so they didn't want no heat on them. I'm telling you right now, they've been watching people on YouTube and social media. I'm not sure why niggas knowing this is like something new. And some of these stupid chicks be talking about like this is like a good thing. They watch all your black asses. It's not one time they take a break saying, oh, you're not talking about. No, they're gonna watch you regardless. And now when they watch you, they even might impose and put people's out here just suppose what they call plants to cause more disarm or division as I look at it. Because when I look at that thing with New York, this man shot no casualties. And the lights were off, the cameras off when that happened. So now they're really giving off, and it's being now obvious now that this was set up, straight up. Because you just don't commit something and no one gets hurt, killed, or anything like that. Unless you're doing something for a bigger agenda or a bigger distraction. That's why I don't cover these things, because when I look at the more deeper things under the web, there's something much more bigger brewing that they're hiding. And we don't know what they're really hiding until you look in an article or find something just happened during that same day or week that they didn't talk about, but this came out and got our attention. So I tell people many times, be very careful what's being put out here now. Because a lot of things going around, like you said, Amiri, it's possible war could be rising or some other things that's being moved. We don't know because they put so many distractions out here that you're not really looking. You're looking this way, looking that way, but someone is behind you. It keeps you distracted. It keeps you off balance, off guard. That's how I see it. Now, before you say something, Deidre, and you're gonna probably keep this short because I'm probably gonna wrap this up. This is going on a little long than it needs to be. He used a Ghost G. It was a demonstration. Yeah, possibly too. Go ahead, Deidre. Respond to your take on it.
Damn, I totally forgot what I was. Oh, you mean on the sniper?
Yeah,
Yeah,
with the black dude.
Yeah, man. In regards to that, man, because I wasn't familiar with him, but I did watch. Once this came out, they talked about the content, and I'm gonna say this, man. I remember back in 2019 when I had my old channel, I talked about, and I was trying to tell these fools that um there's psychological associations and organizations and the criminal just were watching them, and that if they don't stop this within 2 to 3 years, you're going to be seeing research and you're going to see other stuff against this space, because they were saying a lot of stuff that could be characterized as hate speech, and it was out of bounds. And what you were going to see was people who were committing crimes. When they interview, it's a reason why when people commit these crimes, they do psychological testing and interviews to kind of see what triggered people to do these type of crimes. And man, and what was happening, man, you start seeing as of last year, really in 2020, but 21, in those interviews, these people were saying they were on YouTube watching the Manosphere, and they kept seeing this come up every time, someone would do this stuff, and they document this stuff. Man, in 2020, the SCLU labeled the Manosphere as a hate group.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know it's an article, and that's really
yeah,
talking
and
about.
these fools did not cool down after that. They actually continue, and that should have been the warning sign that they need to quit talking like this. Some of the stuff they saying, man, and the thing about it, they thought that I was just saying shit because, oh, you just doing this and you a simp for the ladies. No, man, I was saying I'm telling you this because this is what I do for a living, and I know how these agencies work when they want to focus on somebody and they want to make policies and new laws. First thing they do is they study it. They don't just, oh, we heard you say this and we're gonna come. No. What they do is they spend years studying, and when they study, then they study, they evaluate, and so on, collect the data, and then they come up with the laws that they feel that can distinguish that type of behavior.
Exactly. So they give you enough rope to hang yourself.
Exactly. They're not going to quickly. No, they're going to take their time for 2 or 3 years, gather all of the data that they can. Then they're going to do what they're going to do. And they slow. And now you got this lady coming out. She did a dissertation on the manosphere. You got your boy Exposed the Manosphere did his thing. I mean, it's all kinds of people that coming out. They doing research on the manosphere, documented research. That's going to be there. That's being confirmed, and so that's what happened.
Keep that same same energy, man.
Yeah, but I was
you're not going to devil door long enough, and sooner or later he gonna answer. You know what I'm saying? So they sitting there, they sit like that's what they want when we all know they coochie. Y'all ain't really about that action y'all talking. So like just sitting there doing all that grease talk, man. You know what I mean? So
right.
It's you can't. We live in a society where you can't do that.
But it's go deeper, D-Drop. See, I be listening to some of these cats. I'm be honest with you. There are times that certain dudes that even create their channels, that's cool, and certain dudes that have the ladies on here, it's like they constantly feel that they don't want no woman around. And I'm saying, God damn, my nigga. No one said they don't want to be around, but it's like they get off a certain vibe that's saying, you got some deep embedded sign that you got to resolve. You know what I'm saying? And we know these femcel females are just getting just up there, and they're going to be probably next too. See, people don't understand. They monitor everything now. So if you, a man, talking about certain things about women, like going really hard, they're going to watch you, especially if you proclaim yourself as an insect.
It's not gonna work both ways though. Like the women gonna be able to get away with it.
I mean, like, you think so now, but like I said, I see some women. They say some real rational shit, man. And trust me, they will take action too.
We're not a protected class like that, man. You can't. You're not. It's the same thing. Like it's like if you in public and a woman is hitting a man, you're not gonna have this knee jerk visceral reaction from that. But if you have a scenario where you're out in the public and the man is putting hands on a woman, everybody is going to react a certain type of way.
Yeah, because the society is backwards. That's the problem.
Yeah, I mean that's just what it is. I'm not saying right.
It's not right that.
Check this out though, because check it out, and this is why. It's because the more acts of violence, men perpetrate more acts of violence, because you got to remember the context we have in this conversation is with the mass shooter. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like when women do stuff, they tend to do it like passive aggressively, where guys will just be like aggressive. And that's what I'm saying. I said that you're gonna start seeing more black male serial killers. You're gonna start seeing more black male mass shooters. You're gonna start seeing all that, man. And a lot of it is being driven by the rhetoric. So like what the D Darrell is saying, that's coming. I've been knew that was coming. I've been said that, like even when the thing came out with Aaron Fountain. So because like it's actually attached to acts of violence, they're gonna be forced to like what Darrell is saying. They're gonna be forced to pass laws and shit.
Yep.
Because it's because now it's not just rhetoric. It's causing acts of violence, mass acts of violence, man. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? That's just what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
We don't men don't have that same designation as being a protected class. Like you got to remember, a lot of the black manosphere was born out of the white manosphere, and a lot of the like these guys that like would gravitate towards that rhetoric. These are guys who are more likely to do like mass shootings and shit.
Crazy,
So
man.
that's how I knew you were gonna start seeing it with black dudes. That's how I knew.
Yeah. Well,
So
I would say this, because how they don't deal with the mental illness, then always by default you're gonna have people take physical means to solve their problems. And let's be honest, the government's fine with that because they want to spend money anyway, because it's more easier to spend money locking people up anyway. And I tell people many times that this is a capitalist system and they make laws just to justify making money off your ass. Period. That's not going to stop anytime soon, and not going to stop in our lifetime or the next. So when I say about the other side, yeah, it's going to take a while if they really want to focus on women, if they choose to. But let's be honest. When we talk about prison, this is more designed for men. Period. They're not figure say, I'm going to lock up a few bunch of females. Now, they're not in the equation. And mind you, women, ladies do get locked up, mind you, but only for other reasons. But really, when they talk about when they looking for a threat or enemy to put behind jails, they looking for a man by default, because men make more better money revenue wise. So, like I said, the policies will be coming in place anyway, and
Yeah,
like
man.
and like this, because we have this so-called administration president. I tell people many times, if they create the crime bill almost 20, almost 28 years ago, it would be far-fetched they create some even more worser, where they're not going to be no strikes. They're going to be probably one time and out. And they could do it now because this country's so much in a financial stranglehold. They're looking for any means to really get that same labor for less. Mark my word. But anyway, closing remarks. I end this.
Well, appreciate you for having me on, man. I'm gonna go ahead and bail out, but I was basically chilling, just flipping channels. I was happy to see you was doing something live so I can chop it up with you. Great talk, brothers. Appreciate it interacting with you all, and I look forward to your next live, Chaos Reign.
All right, thank you.
all right, yeah, appreciate it, bro. Yeah, I'm about to go, Cass. It was a good convo. Like I enjoyed it. You know what I'm saying?
All right, wonderful. Normally we don't do this on my channel. Normally I like doing it on the Great Library because it has such more of a bigger base. But like I said, things happen for a reason, and I think I liked it. I like this conversation. We might do some more down the line.
Yeah.
We'll see. All right. Get some rest. Take care.
All right.
And for everybody else who listened to today's stream, if you're new to Chaos Rain channel, make sure you hit the red button, the top bell, for notifications for live streams, uploads here on the Chaos Rain channel. Also, you can follow me on Twitter at Chaos Rain 7. And now you can add me as friend on Facebook, Eric Rain on Facebook. And like always, if you feel so lovely inclined, donate to the channel. You know what I'm saying? We're going to put back into this channel one way or the other. I don't express the donation tab. I like to thank Queen Virtue for putting it out there. But please, contribute to the channel anywhere you can. Oh, and add me on Discord. The Discord is in the About section on the channel. And that's pretty much it. So like always, you know where to find me, people. Ridiculous.